Welcome to episode 34 of Two Dudes and a Movie. I am Luke Parrish.
I'm AJ Ferguson.
And I'm Paul Tabling.
All right, boys, how we doing? Good. Is everyone good?
Good, man.
It feels like we haven't recorded in a hot minute, but it's been
I know, yeah. It's only been like a week.
8 days.
It's felt that way the last couple of weeks.
Like, I was like making a list in my head of all the movies I've been watching. I was like, it feels
Yeah.
like I've been watching movies for like a month,
Yeah.
getting ready for this episode.
Mm.
It's like literally been a week, so
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Before we get into what we've been watching, what are you guys' thoughts on the Oscar nominations?
Man, so I was looking at... all I've looked at today was... Well, I looked at what the movie we're reviewing has gotten nominated for, just briefly. But the only one I really looked at was Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is a fairly diverse group.
1917.
1917,
Hollywood,
Once Upon a
Joker.
Time in Hollywood, Joker, Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah.
was
Ford
nominated
versus Ferrari,
Nice. That's a great movie.
Parasite,
Yeah.
one that I didn't know at all, and there's one more because there's 8.
Endgame.
No,
Oh, God.
What if Endgame just sweeps the award?
I think they only got nominated
Martin
for one
Scorsese would
thing.
literally just like pass.
Oh yeah, Irishman was another one.
Yeah.
Oh, really? For Best Picture?
Yeah.
Marriage Story, too, right? Did you say
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Marriage Story.
Wow.
The Joker got the most nominations with 11,
Yeah,
which
I did see that too. Actually,
a lot of people are pretty pissed about. I'm like, I get it. I mean,
It's
it was
great.
a good movie.
It's
Like,
good, man.
like there's just because it's like a superhero movie or it's like popular to like it doesn't mean you have to sit here and flack
Was it
it.
1917 the second most?
I think it was real
most
close.
nominated.
Yeah,
I think it was
Yeah.
Joker and then 1917.
yeah. I mean, because like I said,
It was like 9 or 10.
I know
Yeah, something like
Parasite
that.
was a lot too. I think
Yeah.
that had like 8 or something.
It's a strong year, dude. I was making like our list for last week, top 2019. It's tough, man. It's a tough year. A
It's
lot of
good.
really good stuff.
good stuff.
Ad Astra's nominated for an award. Yeah.
Oh, it
Dude,
was.
nobody saw that movie. Like,
I know, right?
I always
Nobody.
thought nobody ever saw that.
I looked at the box office and it basically came out even. I think
That's what I'm saying, like,
made like
no
20 million
way.
bucks.
I want to watch it on Redbox, but like nobody went to the theater to see that movie.
Yeah,
Huh.
I was reading I was gonna go buy it on Amazon today, and I was reading some reviews on it because they're very hit or miss on there. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "This is just a
Really?
silly sci-fi movie.
It's a
None of this
one-er
makes
attempt."
sense." I'm like, science fiction doesn't make sense in
Right.
general. Like,
Right.
what is silly science fiction? You tell me.
That's crazy.
But
I'll
no,
go see anything. with
I'm
Tommy Lee
I'm
Jones in it.
pumped for the Oscars. I'm gonna throw myself a little Oscar party.
I think it'd be fun to do
When-
an Oscar themed episode.
When is
somewhere
that,
before.
by the way? I don't even know.
It's March.
Like February 9th, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's like 4
Week
5
after the
weeks.
Super Bowl.
Let me confirm that, so I'm not just spitting out lies here.
I think we're a month out or so.
Oscars 2020. Hold on one second.
Ricky Gervais.
And if only it is February 9th, the
Dude, on the
92nd
money.
Academy Awards.
Nice.
I am good at this stuff.
There you
But,
go. That's why you have a podcast.
we'll get to the Oscars in a later episode, I'm sure.
That'd be a fun episode or fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have
Intro-
to do some little
kinda-
bonus feature or something
that'd
or other about
be
it.
cool.
Do our predictions.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Okay. Well, what have we been watching?
Okay, so I watched Argo.
Ah,
Yeah.
Great movie.
dude, I love that
Have
movie.
you never
Dude,
seen Argo?
I've seen it before, but it was on an airplane, and it was like 3 a.m. So
Yeah.
You
I saw it
barely
at vintage
watched it.
stock, and it was like $3. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, it was like I think won Best Picture.
Best Picture.
It
20,
did.
2012.
I
or
think that was one
whatever.
of my top 5 spy movies when we did that.
I think
Mm.
if we go back ever and do like the top 5 most underrated movies, that one. I guess it's not underrated. It won Best Picture, but under the radar, man. Like nobody talked about that movie really.
Under the radar to like the general
So,
public.
yeah, it's such a good movie. Love that one. Love that one. We watched The Other Guys.
Nice.
Yeah,
Classic.
aim for the bushes.
Classic. It's not quite as funny as I remember it being. It's almost more fun to talk about than watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
fun to
Nacho Libre.
quote.
Yeah, it's fun to quote, but it's still a funny movie. It's so good. I watched
That's pop.
the desk pop, the wooden gun when he whacks. it.
Yes.
My favorite scene in that movie is whenever they go to the store and it blows up.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and he falls back and he's, man, you know when they fly out of the Millennium Falcon and the Death Star, I'm calling BS on them. He's, I have soft tibia damage. I have to have soft tibia damage. He's like freaking out on the ground.
Man, don't you
That's
badmouth
so
Star
good.
Wars?
Don't you badmouth Star Wars. That stuff's legit. Oh, dude, that's such a funny movie.
I think that was one of Will Ferrell's last
that's
best movies.
My favorite Will Ferrell movie, no doubt.
Dude, yeah.
No doubt. My
Have
favorite
you guys
Will
watched
Ferrell
Daddy's Home?
yeah, those are pretty
They
good.
tried
too.
to
Those are funny,
recreate.
too.
They tried to recreate The Other Guys. It's not quite that level, but it's
Nah,
close. It's good. I like the second one too with Mel Gibson.
I actually haven't watched the second one
It's
yet.
funny,
Yeah.
dude, because it's Mel Gibson and then some lame old dude is
John Lithgow.
is
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
Ferrell's dad.
Yeah.
and they're so funny. Like the four of them are so funny. I watched. What else did I watch? I watched Captain America.
The
The
first.
first one,
Wow.
Okay.
throwback.
How was that?
It's good. So good. I like that one a lot. I just love Captain America. Like when he picks up the trash can lid in the alleyway, I'm just like,
He does the whole I
and
can do this all day.
He jumps on the grenade.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's just there's so many good moments.
Did you start crying
in that
or
movie? No, it's just like so many good moments in that movie. There's one more movie I watched. I'll think of it. Man from U.N.C.L.E. That's what it was.
Okay.
You watched it again, huh?
Callie hadn't seen it before, so
What'd she think?
I went to Vintage Stock and just bought like a bunch of cheap movies for they have like a big sale or whatever. But she liked it. It's a great movie.
Yeah, no, it is good.
Really great.
I need to
movie.
watch it again. Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yep.
And
And I'm watching Rebels still, season 4.
heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Watched a couple of stand-up comedy. Jim Gaffigan. He had a new special on Amazon Prime. We watched that.
Very nice.
Just kind of a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah, dude, you watched a lot.
Good week this week.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
my
my
week.
kids went to bed early this week every night, so Callie and I stayed up and
Hey,
watched
there you
the
go.
movie. Yeah,
There you go.
it's good.
Put them kids to bed.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I finally got to watch some more something today.
Nice.
It's about time. It wasn't a movie, but I watched two more episodes of The Witcher on Netflix, which
Oh,
is
Ah.
still pretty.
Is
pretty
it an
stellar.
8-episode season?
8 episodes, an hour episode.
Yep.
Just what the Mandalorian
Have you watched
should have
it?
been.
I have not watched Witcher. I'm trying to finish the morning show before I start Witcher.
Oh man, I got way too many stuff on my watch list right now. It is like everyone's like, "Hey, watch this." I'm like, "Well, it's
So-
like number 20 down on the list, but
Yeah.
I'll get to it in
Right.
like 3 years."
Dude.
Yeah,
I have a list
exactly.
on Prime, I have a list on Disney, I have a list on Netflix. And they're all like 30 or 40
Oh,
items.
that's
Yeah.
absurd. If
Like
I could have a
I will
job
never
watching
watch
stuff,
all of this stuff.
No.
It's
Some days, like when I'm trying to find something to watch, I'll just be like, okay, time to purge some of these real quick. And I'll be
Yes.
like, oh, am I really going to watch
That's
Hell
what
or
I'm-
High Water? Delete.
That's been on my
That's
list
a good
for like
movie,
3
though.
I know it is a
years.
good. I've heard it's a
That's
good
a good
movie.
movie.
But
Hold
like,
on.
The things that have been there for so long, you're like, nah.
yeah. Am
No
I really
doubt.
going to watch Narcos? Eh.
Yeah, the Narcos
Like-
thing was The Walking Dead for the third time.
Oh, yeah.
Third time.
Dude, I did like I love The Walking Dead for a hot minute there.
I like the first 4 seasons.
Like season 4, season 5, I was all in, and then it was just like,
I hate to say it, but I fell off at the Negan stuff. Like some people did.
I never even watched.
I felt like it
season
lasted
8.
too long.
Season 8 was.
I fell off after the third episode.
Dude,
The
season
Walking
1.
Dead?
Dude, I
Oh,
just couldn't
couldn't
get
do
into
it.
it, man.
You got to try season 1 again. It is good.
Granted, that was probably like 8 or 9 years ago.
You got to try season
So-
1. At least try
Yeah, I get
season
it.
1. That is real good.
Mm.
Well, Paul, what have you been watching? Tell us.
So again, you know, my wife and I are Disney movie people.
Disney holics, apparently.
Holes
Get
got
your money's
released on.
Oh yeah,
and,
love
and my
that
wife had never
movie.
seen that movie. And I was
Mr.
like,
Sir?
Yeah. Oh,
Come
Mr.
on,
Sir.
dude.
Stanley
John
Yelnats?
Voight.
Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah. So we watched that.
Callback.
I can fix that.
Watched a movie. Yeah.
Dude, I forgot about that random like romantic stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
We used to fast forward that part when we were kids. Oh, that's such a great movie.
The sploosh.
Kissing
Sploosh.
Kate Barlow.
Yeah.
Then we watched a movie that I enjoyed called Tall Tale.
Tall
It was
Tale.
about oh my gosh, what's the guy's name? It's Patrick Swayze is the main character.
Dirty Dancing.
But it's
He just said it's called Tall
it's
Tales.
yeah, it's about Paul Bunyan and
seen
John Henry and
Has the railroad
Pecos
guy in
Bill.
it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
And
no clue what you're talking about.
it's
It's animated.
no,
No?
it's a live action Disney movie from
No
the
clue.
90s,
Okay.
and it's got a lot of really good actors in it. It's just an interesting, weird kind of off the wall movie, but
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of like westerns and stuff like that, so it pulls on the heartstrings a little bit with that. Then we watched a movie called The Kid for the first time with Bruce Willis, where he like finds an 8-year-old version of himself, and it's
Sorry, guys. I'm getting a cough drop.
dude,
Allergies.
yeah, no, you're fine.
Gotta edit out.
Yeah, we
that
can-
out later.
No, it's fine. We're raw here. Listen to this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, editing. What is that?
Yeah, we
Just
don't
like
do that here.
the video that I haven't edited from last week.
Add the muffle.
Oops. Then we watched Wall-E, and then
Oh, yeah.
Wally.
we watched the only adult movie other than the movie we were reviewing. We watched Venom last night.
How was that? I
Dude.
haven't seen it.
I really enjoy this movie.
Okay.
It got a lot of negative.
It got a lot of negative feedback, but honestly, I enjoy it. And at the end of it, any movie I watch with my wife for the first time, I'm like, "What'd you think?" And she's like, "It was pretty good. It was better than Spider-Man 3 Venom." And I was like,
You can
You
say
are
that again.
you are correct there.
Tom Hardy is greater than whoever that loser was.
Topher.
Yeah.
From
What the heck? That 70s show, man.
yeah, that 70s show.
Yeah, give him some
Barf.
slack.
Barf.
He was great
His
in
best
Interstellar.
role was Interstellar. You know why?
Because he didn't do any
It's a
talking.
flipping good movie.
Oh yeah, because it's
Christopher
Chris
Nolan.
Nolan. Excuse us.
He does very little talking also.
Yeah, but so yeah, that it's funny to make these lists of because I have to kind of convince my wife because she wants to watch a Disney movie every night. I'm like,
no.
no, we have to watch an adult movie,
No
please.
doubt. That's how I snuck Argo in there. It's like, we gotta watch something.
Yeah, but yeah, so I was like, I even like went over to the movie shelf. I was like, all right, I'm picking tonight any of these ones that are pulled,
Yes.
and she picked Venom. So
Yes.
Nice.
Venom 2's coming out, right?
yeah, it's
They're gonna
supposed to,
do it,
supposed
yeah.
to be. It's supposed to have
They're making a
Spider-Man.
sequel.
It's supposed to have
Oh, really?
Carnage, which is going to be
Which
legit.
Spider-Man?
With,
Tom
Woody
Holland.
Harrelson.
Oh, really?
It's supposed to have Tom Holland Spider-Man in it.
So it's Marvel?
Mm,
Sony?
loosely.
Sony?
Would you guys see the Morbius
The
trailer?
Morbius trailer, yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, but it's got
It's Jared Leto.
a like wall painting of Spider-Man
Yeah.
on it, and then it's got the Michael Keaton's Vulture character
Yep.
in it. And I was like,
Interesting.
so that might be the movie to like tie the universes together.
Well, if there's anything that I feel like Jared Leto, if there's anything like any role he was meant to be, I think it was Morbius. That guy's
Yeah.
such a vampire.
That's true.
He's just...
I love seeing all these memes now of because like at the end, like he walks up and meets Michael Keaton or whatever, and it's because he's says something like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like, "What's up, Batman? What's up, Joker?" Because
Yeah.
because he was Batman
Yeah.
and he was Joker,
Yeah.
and I was like,
You want
I love seeing
to
those
join the
memes
Sinister
now.
Six?
Dude.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna be the Sinister Six.
Speaking of Michael
man,
Keaton,
if he's in the Sinister Six,
underrated character in the other guys.
yes,
He is
the captain.
He's one of my
Oh,
favorite
yes.
characters in that movie, dude.
That's my favorite part
Don't
is
go
where
chase
they're
someone.
where they're at the wake. And they're starting to like yell, like
The
whisper
whisper
fight.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey,
What are y'all doing? It's like, break it up. 2 good men are dead. And y'all are sitting here.
That was good.
And the wife walks by like, sorry for your loss, man.
He's
Yeah.
got some good
Y'all
comedy
get it
chops.
together.
Because that's what he
Oh,
was
dude.
before he did the Batman movies. He was more known as comedian.
So
That's,
good.
Really?
Yeah, because
Oh.
people were kind of like uneasy about him being Batman because he was, came from a comedic
good.
background.
that's funny. I didn't know that."
Oh, dude.
There you go. There's a
Will
nugget
Ferrell
of
starts
knowledge
closing
for you.
his eyes at the end of the movie. He's like, he's dying. Medic. Get
Yeah.
a medic over here. He's like freaking out. Oh, gosh.
What do you guys want to jump into our top 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, top 5
Top
actors?
5
Yeah.
actors.
Gosh, man, this is so hard. This was literally the hardest top 5 I think I've made for the show.
Joe,
And
have
I'm
a hard
not
time with
even-
it, Paul.
I'm not even kidding.
Not really.
I feel like I walk around
I-
just knowing this every day. what
See,
my
like
top
y'all,
5 is.
to me, like y'all's brain, I don't know, like y'all just like certain people.
It's because we're so intelligent.
Okay.
No, like y'all have like y'all have like certain actors that you just like.
You cling
Like
to?
okay,
Yeah, you know
okay.
what I'm saying?
That's fair.
For me, it's like I don't have like 1 or 2 actors.
You
that I'm
like more, and this may be where you were coming from with the performance thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You like roles
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
the actor.
For sure.
Ooh, Michael Caine's definitely in your top 5.
No, he's not.
Oh,
I thought
what?
about putting him number
Dude.
1 just to mess with you guys because he's been in so many Chris Nolan.
Christian Bale.
He's been in like 7 Chris Nolan movies, but okay. So my honorable
Jared
mentions
Leto.
are like
AJ's got 100 of them. So.
Yeah.
I felt bad not mentioning some of these guys' names because they're just so good. Okay, Martin Freeman, not Morgan Freeman. Martin Freeman,
Okay.
Bilbo.
Bilbo, and John Watson, Dr. Watson, from Sherlock. Gary Oldman, he plays Commissioner Gordon. He plays the bad guy in Book of Eli, and he
Yes.
plays Winston Churchill.
Churchill.
Michael Caine is an honorable mention. Tom Hanks, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Mel Gibson,
Wow.
Sir Ian McKellen. Love that dude.
Okay.
Literally, like, only for Gandalf. I like him as Magneto. He's, like, good. But, like, dude, he's just so
Yeah, our
good.
generation only knows him for those
He
two
is
roles.
so good at Gandalf. Like, just love that character.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson's an honorable mention for me. Harrison Ford and Denzel Washington. Those were my 2 that, like, went
Man.
back and forth on the top 5.
Harrison Ford?
I love Harrison Ford.
No, I mean, like, yeah, that he's
Oh,
not in the 5?
Yeah,
Man.
it's tough. And then Denzel was tough not to include.
Okay.
But those are...
Okay.
So, honestly, like, below Ian McKellen down are more, like, guys that I like a lot that I'd wanted to include. But, like,
Okay.
So, Ian McKellen, Samuel L. Jackson, Harrison Ford, Denzel are my 4 favorite who aren't
in my top 5.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Denzel's
If you had to
pretty awesome.
consolidate,
If I
your
had to
honorable
give
mention-
everybody else,
Yeah.
I wanted to give those guys a shout out because they're like,
Yeah, I got you.
what you got?
My honorable mentions are Taron Egerton and James McAvoy.
Oh, okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Edgerton is most known for, you would say, Kingsman, right?
and then he was just in Rocket Man.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
Ja-
McAvoy is known for
Professor X.
Professor X. He was in Split. He was in
Oh,
It
yeah.
Chapter 2.
Oh yeah.
But no, I think I got every movie in. He was probably my biggest draw for the newest X-Men movies because he was so good as Professor X.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
All
Paul.
right. So mine are John Wayne, obviously.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Al Pacino.
Oh, okay.
Robert De Niro.
Okay.
And Matt Damon.
Okay.
Matthew Damon.
Dude, I almost put John Wayne on my list too, but I was
Dude.
like, I got so many names on here.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, my entire childhood was John Wayne movies. So
I almost thought you said John Wick. I was
love
like,
John
I mean,
Wayne.
that's not.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
put
John Wick,
on
Keanu
there.
Reeves. Yeah, same thing.
John Wick.
He's on there twice because he's so
Yeah,
good.
because it's so good.
Okay, my number 5 is Christian Bale.
What?
Dude, I love Christian Bale. He's so good.
I am surprised.
He,
Me too.
He's so good. He's like the best Batman, like by a mile, and it's not even close. He's the best Bruce Wayne by a mile, not even
Ooh.
close.
Man, you're
Dude,
stepping on.
No, don't even
Ooh.
bring up
Stepping
whoever
on
the heck you're about to bring up because it's
Ooh.
not true.
Michael Keaton.
Barf.
He's good.
George Clooney, barf.
Batfleck was
Val
good
Kilmer,
too.
barf. Oh, Ben Affleck, barf.
Yeah, come
no,
on.
no.
Come on, show the Batfleck some love.
No, dude. No. And then Christian Bale's been in so many other good movies that are not Chris Nolan movies, okay?
Oh, he's a freaking
He's-
method actor,
he is
too.
so
That's
good.
very true.
He's so good.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Such a great actor.
I'll agree.
My number 5 is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Ooh, I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
All right.
This guy is like, for me, he's like the indie movie king. Like
okay.
Donnie Darko, Nightcrawler, Velvet
Nightcrawler's
Buzzsaw.
so good.
Everest,
Everest.
Brokeback Mountain. Like it's like you want a great looking guy that's good at acting in a weird role in a weird movie. Hire this guy.
Have you ever seen Enemy?
Enemy.
That's the weirdest movie I've ever seen. He's like the lead in that one. He has like a weird like clone twin person that like
Oh, yeah.
he finds somewhere
Oh,
on accident.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Dude, it is bizarre.
I haven't seen it though, but man, he's just like
He's a great actor.
so good in each one of those roles. And I think Nightcrawler is the one that sticks out for
Dude,
me.
no doubt. That's his best movie in
But
my
yeah,
opinion.
no, he's very good.
I still need to watch Nightcrawler.
You never seen Nightcrawler?
I have your
It
copy
is.
of it still.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that movie is so good.
I need to give it back because it's on Prime
I think
now.
it's on Prime.
But
Yeah. It's
yeah.
such a great movie.
My number 5 is Will Smith.
Nice.
Ooh, I
As the
appreciate
comedian or the actor
that. Or this rapper.
Or the rapper.
or the rapper?
All three.
All three. Yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, one of my favorite movies is Men in Black. I don't think it's on like top 25 because I try not to have like a whole lot of comedy movies, but I love those movies. I mean, even just from his, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air days all the way up
No
to
doubt.
now. I mean, he's still killing it. I Am Legend.
Dude, I Am Legend's so good. After Earth.
Uh,
Did you ever see that one?
Gemini
yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Like
I do want to watch Gemini
Dude,
Man,
7
even though
pounds.
it's getting like some dog reviews.
it
7
got
pounds?
some pretty garbage reviews. Yeah.
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys.
I'm gonna go see that this week.
yeah.
Pursuit of Happiness.
That was a good movie.
That's my favorite Will Smith movie. That's probably his best performance. Probably not my favorite movie. But dude, he is so good. in
Wild
that movie.
Wild West.
He's a good all-around actor,
he's so
whether it's
talented.
funny or
Yeah, he's so good.
serious.
Number 4 for me is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cucumber Patch. He's in the movie.
Man,
that
he's
doing.
just so good. Like he's just
Oh yeah,
he is so good. Like if I were ever in charge of a movie and I had any open spaces in my film, he'd be one of the first people I called, no matter what I'm doing.
He's like the best
so
monotone actor ever.
He's so good.
I feel like he never
Dude.
shows any true emotion,
Man.
but he's just
Yeah.
so good.
So he's Doctor Strange. He's Sherlock. He's who else?
Smaug.
He plays Smaug. He plays he's the lead in Imitation Game.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He's in this movie.
Yep.
He's in a bunch of other
1917.
random stuff. Yeah, 1917. Yeah, he's just so good. Honestly, I put him up there for me personally for Sherlock more than anything else because that's my favorite TV
Yeah,
show
he's
of all time
dynamite in
besides
that.
Parks and Rec. And he's just so good in that show. So he's a great actor.
My number 4 is Adam Driver.
Nice.
Oh,
Ben
Yes.
Solo.
Ben Solo, and it's this one would kind of he snuck in here of late because I sat down and started thinking about it. I was like, started thinking about a bunch of movies. Like he's the best for me. He's the best part of the sequel trilogy.
Mm.
He shows off his acting chops in Marriage Story.
Yeah, you were talking about that movie.
Yeah,
I need to watch that one.
which watch it. Yeah, watch it.
I think he's
specifically.
nominated for something too.
I think he
And
was.
so is Scarlett Johansson. She's awesome in that movie
Yeah.
too. She's up for like 2 awards, I think, like leading actress and like supporting actress for Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
She's in Jojo Rabbit.
She's
Yeah.
in Jojo
I didn't
Rabbit.
know that.
Yeah. But now Adam Driver, he's just like of late. Right now, it's like the years of Adam Driver because he's getting like cast a bunch of stuff. He was just in Black Klansman, which he was really good.
Oh,
in
yeah?
that. Yeah.
He was in a movie recently. It seems like with Daniel Craig that I never watched.
I know what you're talking about. I don't have no idea what it's called.
I don't remember what it was called either, but I remember seeing him like on the billboard.
Yep.
No, but
Number 4,
Is Bradley Pitt?
Bradley Cooper.
No,
Pitt.
That's where I thought you were going.
I know that's why I said Bradley.
full
No,
name.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, man, he's good.
Dude. I mean,
He's been around for so long.
whether it be
too.
in movies like Seven or Moneyball or Mr. and
Troy.
Mrs. Smith, Troy. I mean,
World War Z.
Jennifer Aniston's husband. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, World War Z, dude. I love that.
Fury. Fury's probably my favorite
That's
Brad Pitt
that's
movie.
true.
Really?
He is
I forgot
so good
about
in that movie. Inglourious Bastards.
he's the best character
Hollywood.
actor for sure.
Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time in
He
Hollywood.
was so good in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's nominated. Yeah, he's
Cliff Booth.
best
That
supporting
might-
actor for that.
I would say that and Fury are his best 2. And,
Really?
And Inglourious Bastards are probably his best 3. Agree
Oh,
or
yeah.
disagree?
Fury was really really good for sure. I don't
Agree or
know.
disagree?
Moneyball's up there for me.
Dude, yeah, Moneyball's really good.
He was really good in Burn After Reading. I don't think
Never
you've
saw that
seen
one.
though.
I've seen it once.
Club?
I need to watch that again.
The movie's not like I don't think the movie's like incredible or anything, but he's just really good in that movie.
Yeah,
Fight
well,
Club.
his
I was
role
kidding
in
on
that
Fight
movie
Club.
is so funny because he's
kidding.
he's like a personal trainer or something,
Yes,
right?
yes, he works at the gym.
And
Yeah, I was kidding.
when he,
But,
have you ever seen the movie?
yeah.
Okay, when
I mean,
he
he's funny.
died,
Yeah.
I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, this is a weird movie, dude. I don't
Yeah,
ever
'cause
need
he
to
just
watch
gets
that
shot
again.
in the head by George Clooney just randomly.
Like accidentally, and I was
Him
like,
and George
"What?"
Clo- oh, he's in Oceans, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the Ocean's movies.
Dude, those Oceans
Ad
movies are
Astra.
stacked.
Those are one of my
Those
favorite
movies are
roles of his.
stacked. Like that whole cast is
Mm-hmm.
just okay. My number 3 is RDJ,
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downing Jr.
Solely because of Iron Man.
literally,
Oh, and Sherlock.
for me, it's Sherlock and it's Iron Man and Doctor Dolittle, obviously.
But you haven't seen that yet.
I'm just kidding. That movie looks so bad. Oh, I feel bad for him, but he's making a fortune, so whatever. But yeah, for me, my like 13-year-old to now self, like, has there been a more like, I don't know, well-known actor? Like, he has literally carried
in our generation.
this generation.
Yeah.
He's carried the biggest film franchise ever on
Yeah.
his back for 10 years.
I'll agree.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, I had to include him in there. And he's so good as Iron Man and as Tony Stark. And then, obviously, I like him as Sherlock. I don't think he's quite as good as Benedict Cumberbatch is at Sherlock, but he's really good.
Yeah.
So, for me, he had to be in there. Man, he's
Okay.
just so good. And then, like I said, he almost single-handedly carried Marvel. So,
Yeah.
Is this like the Lifetime Achievement Award from AJ?
I love Robert Downing Jr. too. Like,
The-
he is such a great actor, and he's so funny. But he's also like he's so good at balancing. Like, he can be so funny in the scene, and the next scene he'll break your heart with some dialogue or with some whatever. Like, just so good. Especially if you watch him in Endgame. Like, the balance he has in that movie, the ups and downs, is just really, really well done.
Okay. My number 3 is Ryan Gosling.
Wow. Okay.
For
Notebook.
like
All
the
right.
Notebook.
Yes.
And Remember the Titans.
Yes,
I'm
remember the
just gonna-
Titans?
Dude,
kidding.
yeah.
Got
But
benched.
no, I feel like he's kind of in the same boat. Or not maybe like he was the on the rise like 2 years ago, and he's still one of the top actors now with like he was in La La Land, he's in Blade Runner 2049, Nice Guys, The Big Short, First Man. There's all these really
He's
good.
in First Man. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Didn't he play Armstrong?
Yeah, he plays Armstrong.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But
I
man,
haven't seen that movie.
he's
I
just
mean,
he's just been flexing his acting muscles lately and just casted all these great roles where he plays these characters so well. Specifically, like Blade Runner comes to mind.
Would you say
where
his
he's
best movie is Blade Runner? Besides The Notebook, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. No, he was really good in
I've never
La
seen
La
The Notebook.
Land,
Have you seen The
too.
Notebook?
No.
I've never seen. Have you seen The Notebook?
No.
I've never seen. So I've never even seen The Notebook. It's
Thank
like his
God.
most famous role.
Have you guys seen Nice Guys?
Uh-uh.
He was really good in Nice Guys.
I think
Is that-
I think the only Ryan Gosling movie I've ever seen was Remember the Titans until we watched
Really?
Blade Runner. Yeah.
Well, that's
What's
like...
Nice Guys about?
So Nice Guys, I'm up on Letterboxd right now.
Okay.
I'll just read you the little description. Private Eye investigates the apparent suicide of a fading porn star in 1970s Los Angeles and covers a conspiracy. It's him and Russell Crowe. And they're like,
Dude, Russell Crowe.
it's like a buddy like cop movie kind of thing.
Huh.
And they are both very good in it. It is
Interesting.
it's a fun watch.
Wasn't he in like a mobster movie with Josh Brolin?
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Or is that a different guy that looks very similar? Shoot.
I don't think so.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mobster movie with Josh Brolin.
Was it recently?
Dude,
It was in the 2010s ish.
have you
okay.
watched End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal?
End of watch. End of watch.
That is my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Have you seen that movie?
And Michael Pena.
Yeah. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
the police movie.
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to watch that yet.
Dude, I'll let you borrow that.
Sorry,
That's a good
That was a
movie.
random thought. I just was thinking back to Jake Gyllenhaal.
But that's on the list for most F-bombs in a movie, though. Like, it's one of the top 5 ones.
Dude, I
Yeah.
believe it. I totally believe
I believe it too.
it. Southpaw also.
Yeah, I've seen Southpaw.
Anyway,
All right.
number
Me?
3.
All right. Is Leo.
Really?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
Dude,
Good
I mean,
stuff.
one of the, Revenant,
Dude.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Departed,
Inception.
Inception. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Like, no, it's
He
his
is
role
really
in
good
that
at
movie is
Inception.
really good. Like,
Yeah.
I know you're throwing.
Shutter Island.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that movie again. It was a very interesting movie.
He's so good at kind of doing the weird, like, I don't know, edgy kind of character
Yeah.
that has like some kind of flaw.
Yeah.
Like in Hollywood, he's kind of that same-ish character where he's kind of jittery and just
Or
kind
in
of
Departed, where
Departed,
he's like
yeah.
losing his mind.
Dude, The Departed. I
Rick
forgot-
Dalton.
He's so good. in
Yeah,
that movie.
dude. So yeah, one of my number 3 for me.
Dang,
Old
okay.
Leo.
I feel you.
My number 2 is Matt Damon.
Hey,
Matthew
Dude,
Damon.
he's just like, I was trying to think of like bad movies he's been in, and I literally couldn't think of one.
Besides all of them. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
No, like-
dang.
Like, what's the weirdest like
The Great Wall.
worst movie you can think of?
Yeah.
Great Wall. I never. I
Garbage.
Never, I
That
never,
movie was
I ne-
hot garbage.
I never saw that one. I assume it was bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it was rough. But
And then
no, I'll agree
there was
with
like the weird space movie that was like in the future,
Elysium?
Elysium.
that movie. I enjoyed.
I
actually.
never saw that one.
It was very different, also for him.
But like,
it felt very much like District 9.
he is
but
just so solid, and he's so good, and he's shown that he can carry a movie by himself recently with The Martian. But he's-
Born, man.
and the Bourne trilogy is so good. Ford vs Ferrari, he's so good. Ocean's movies, he's awesome. Departed,
Oh,
he's awesome.
Dogma?
The movie
Never seen
with
Kevin Smith movie.
the old movie with Robin Williams,
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. He's so. I mean, he's just so good. Like,
Yep.
man, he's just cash money. Like, solid, great actor, can do almost anything,
How you like them apples?
dude.
No.
Great actor.
Chasing Amy? Okay, sorry. Number 2 is Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
So,
what for
I mean,
Titanic? No, I'm just kidding.
I've
He's good
never
at
seen
Titanic.
Titanic.
I'm
He is-
not it either.
So
Gangs in New York. Come on.
I won't. You've already listed off all the movies he's great in. Like, I think for me, my love
I've actually
for
never seen Gangs of New York.
That's good.
seen what?
Gangs of New York.
Oh, I mean,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
but
Somebody was telling me about that
underrated.
movie the other day. Underrated.
Gangs of New York.
He's like the male Meryl Streep.
He's so
He
good.
kind of is.
Dude, he is such a
Just
great...
without all the
He's
Oscars.
none of us have him on our
He's
top
got
five.
a bunch of
He's got
Oscars.
one Oscar.
But none of us have him on our top five. That's what I'm saying.
He
He's
won
like-
it for Revenant.
Oh, Leo. I thought we were talking about.
Leo, yeah.
yeah. Leo's only
Bro,
got
Lincoln. Come on.
one. Yeah.
I'm
No,
talking about.
but,
We're talking about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Go back to
Go ahead.
Leo.
But you already hit on all his good movies. But I think my infatuation with him started with The Great Gatsby.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Really?
I've heard it was
I don't
good.
know why, but
Ryan Gosling, right? Wasn't he in it? Who was
No, it's Tom McGuire.
Tobey Maguire.
same guy? I'm just kidding.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
They're both Spider-Man, right?
No, actually.
No, actually they're not. But no, I think it started then, and then just kind of started rolling forward because he played that role in the movie.
What's his best
so well.
movie? In your
Once
humble
Upon a Time in
opinion.
Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah.
You agree?
Dude, Revenant
He's
was
so good in Revenant.
He deserved to be
that's
you
what he
win
got his
that
Oscar
Oscar.
for.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
He's also in Django. We haven't mentioned that one yet.
That's right. He was the bad guy.
J. Edgar.
That movie was weird.
That was weird. Body of Lies.
That movie was okay.
Blood Diamond.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that
The
for some reason.
Aviator.
Never saw it.
Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks.
That movie was good.
Great
that was
movie.
my first movie of seeing him.
Great movie.
And I forgot about it.
Titanic, obviously. Yeah.
The Man in
Quick
the
and
Iron
the
Mask.
Dead.
Dang, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
He's in The Quick and the Dead. What?
Yeah, he's like the
He's the
kid.
little kid, yeah.
Yeah. He's in a David Blaine movie. What?
Okay, Paul, number...
Oh, sorry, we're considering going down.
No, hey.
Is that your number 2?
My number 2
Yeah, let's
is
Brad Pitt.
No,
No, yours
is
it's
that.
RDJ, bro.
Nah.
No, it's Denzel. It's Denzel.
Number 2
Oh,
It's
that's
one.
Wahlberg then. If it's
Mark
not-
Wahlberg.
Yeah, there we go.
Really?
is Mark Wahlberg. Dude.
RDJ's not your top 5?
No.
What?
I
That is
I
genuinely
look at
shocking
the
to me.
whole career. Like,
I mean, I feel that.
I mean, yes,
appreciate
RDJ, you are correct.
I
Has
feel
done
that.
it for this generation, but like,
that. I feel that.
and he's
Yeah.
got some good older movies. But dude, Mark Wahlberg,
I'm
like,
with you. He's legit. I love Mark Wahlberg.
even in some of his like people don't like movies, I really enjoy. Like Max Payne
Yeah.
is a really good movie in my opinion, and people will disagree all day with me on that one. But I mean, even to like movies now, like Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie is legit.
Lone Survivor.
Lone
Okay.
Survivor. Yeah, here, give me some movies and I'll tell you whether they suck or not.
Okay, we got Mile 22.
Haven't seen it.
Daddy's Home.
This is funny.
Transformers.
Okay, yeah.
rough.
Rough.
Patriots Day.
Patriots Day was a great
Deepwater
movie.
Horizon.
Yep.
Entourage.
That was a producer.
The Gambler. Did you ever see that?
No, I
think I
didn't.
did.
But it's like a remake
I wanted to
of
see
an
that. I
old.
never saw it. Lone Survivor. He is
Dude,
so
that's one of my
good.
favorite movies of his.
Two Guns. Your top 2 favorite actors in the same movie.
Dude, that's why I have a shelf on
of
my
just those guys.
of those two, and Two Guns is right in the middle, and that's how it splits.
The Fighter
Fighter's a great movie.
Yeah.
with
Christian
Christian
Bale.
Bale. Come on. The Other Guys. His best movie ever. Just kidding.
Dude, I think one of the reasons
Shooter.
Shooter is a great movie. One of the reasons I really enjoy Mark Wahlberg is because the dude just, and his whole family is this way, because I'm also a big fan of Donnie Wahlberg for, TV shows and things like that. But like his whole family like grinds.
Yeah,
Like,
his brother, one's a restaurant guy.
Is a chef, yeah, and like they're making this whole like around the world franchise of these restaurants. Wahlburgers, and I want to go to one, but like, dude, just the grind that family has is just impressive to me.
So you got The Departed. He's in Departed. He's in Invincible.
Yeah,
Dude,
good movie.
And he's in The Italian Job.
Yep.
yeah,
Dude, he's loaded. I like
dude,
it.
I love his
Good
movies.
stuff. Great stuff. My number 1 is Leonardo DiCaprio. I went back and forth on number 1. I couldn't really decide, and for me, it came down to him and kind of Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Tom Hanks, like those kinds of people that have been really good for a long time.
Dang, Tom Hanks wasn't on anybody's list.
And yeah,
Honorable mentions for him.
he was honorable mention. But so for me, like all of those kinds of guys were kind of all in the same. And it turned into who do I like the best?
Yeah.
Because if we're sitting here and we're judging who's won the most awards and who's been nominated the most, who's had the best movies, that's a totally different list. We're kind of just all spitballing who our favorites are. Like if this guy's in a movie, I'm gonna go see it. So for me, DiCaprio, he's kind of been the poster boy for acting for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years now. It feels like.
Yeah.
He's kind of been like, he's in this is Leo's next movie. Everybody's got to go see it. And he's done awesome. I mean, he's been so good for so long.
Yeah.
He's really kind of carried a lot of different types of movies too. So for me, he's number 1. He's not necessarily my favorite. Like it's hard to like you said earlier.
Wait,
like
what?
I don't know. Like
That doesn't make any sense.
I know, but like he's not like if you asked me who my favorite actor was, I have no idea what I would say. Honestly,
But he's your number 1 actor.
but he's number 1 on this list.
We might have to call a revote for this.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like my list was so hard to make because I was so torn between who do I like, who's the best, who has the best movies, who's accomplished the most.
Okay.
See, you think about these lists too much like a teacher.
I know, dude. Like directors next week. My list is locked and loaded.
I bet.
And has been for like months since we made the list of lists
That's easy
or whatever.
stuff for directors.
But
Come
the
on.
actors, man, was brutal. Brutal.
I got you.
Number 1?
Number one's Bradley Pitt.
Nice.
Pitt.
That was
yeah.
unforeseen by all.
Freaking, yeah, I know. That of late, too. Like, if you would ask me this 6 months ago, I probably wouldn't have known.
Wow.
He's really good. Best movie?
But yeah, Troy. No, I'm just kidding.
I love Troy. It's such
Just
a
because
good,
you get to see his butt.
such a good movie.
Troy was really good, though. I liked it a lot.
My kids,
Allied
dude.
was really good, too.
Oh, I forgot about Allied. He is
Allied,
so
yeah.
good in that.
Let's see.
I always tell my kids when we study because we read like Homer and the
Mm,
Trojan
yeah.
War is like in there. Like, okay, guys, there's this pretty good movie with Brad Pitt in it. It's rated R, so like beware.
Of the
Yep.
booties.
And they all come back and they're like, I watched Troy. It's terrible. Had all this stuff, and I was like, I told you it was rated R.
Dude, and Eric Bana.
That's a great movie. I like Troy.
Dude,
So best
I
movie.
enjoy that
Sorry,
movie.
His best movie. Oh, my gosh, that's rough.
I guess not best movie. You could say best movie. Best performance.
I liked him
guess
a
is
lot in
what I'm
Inglourious
asking for.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Okay,
I liked him a lot.
Aldo
in that.
Rain.
Aldo
He is
Rain.
I
really
want my
good.
scalps.
He is really good.
That's
as
right.
Aldo Rain.
Moneyball.
Gerlami.
I like Moneyball. I don't think this is best movie though. For me, it's either Fury or
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Those are his
Okay.
two best performances, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I would probably lean toward Fury because he plays more of a kind of, I don't know, unique character. I guess he kind of plays more of himself a little bit in Hollywood. I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. You said which one's the best? Inglourious Bastards is.
I like him a lot in that, yeah.
He's really good at that.
Yeah.
Number 1 is
Seth Rogen.
I love Seth Rogen.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, Neighbors.
We need to do a top 5 comedians sometime. That'd be
That'd be
That'd
funny.
be a fun list.
No, for real though, it's Denzel Washington.
No doubt.
I mean,
Oh.
if you guys hadn't already picked up on
American
that,
figured that
Gangster
out, like,
himself.
months ago.
American Gangster.
American Gangster.
But I mean, no, my favorite movie of his is Once and for All going to be Training Day.
Okay.
Like,
Great movie.
I love that movie.
I'm gonna look up Denzel.
Even though, like, yeah, he's the bad guy of the movie, but like, it's just, I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies. I mean, even like looking at more recent movies, the Equalizer movies.
Those are good.
love those movies.
Did you see Fences?
I did not see Fences yet.
So boring.
It's on a list. Well,
I watched it. Like I was like excited to watch it. It was so boring. Okay, Equalizer, Fences, Magnificent Seven,
dude, that we're
Great
gonna review
movie.
that coming up.
Great movie.
It's one of my
It's so
favorites.
Two Guns,
Yeah.
Flight,
We're doing that one
Unstoppable.
too.
Great movie. I like that one a lot.
That was okay.
Book of Eli,
Yeah.
so good. Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3. I like that one a
I think
lot.
Book of Eli is my favorite Denzel movie.
American
It's a good
Gangster,
one, man.
Deja Vu,
And he's just so versatile. Man on Fire.
Man
That's
on
also
Fire.
one of my favorite ones of his.
Training Day, Remember the Titans.
He's very versatile too. Like where he can play, the roles like, Remember the Titans, all the way up to like, the badass characters like
Malcolm
Equalizer
X.
and Man on Fire and stuff like that.
What did you say was your favorite?
Book
of Eli?
Yeah, Book of Eli.
Gosh, I like Book of Eli a lot. I would probably agree that's my favorite Denzel movie.
Think so?
Remember the
Plays,
Titans,
plays the
honestly.
blind man the whole time.
Remember the Titans is probably my favorite Denzel movie. His best performance, Book of Eli, I guess. What did you say was your favorite?
Training Day.
Yeah, I like Training Day a lot too.
Harold and I. That's
I like
one-
Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3 a lot.
Taking Pelham 1,
That's
2, 3
really
was good.
underrated.
There are two movies that Harold and I, my best friend, would watch multiple times in a week whenever we would hang out, and it was either Training Day or I Love You, Man. I know those are
Love You,
completely
Man.
different movies, but those were some of our favorite movies then to this day.
I could appreciate that though.
He just like, I don't know if it's like him or the writing or both, but he just has like the best lines in every movie he's
dude.
in.
It's his delivery.
Like
so,
his
so
His
good.
delivery is
so good.
spot on. And yeah, once we get to one of his, because I know we're gonna do Flight and Magnificent Seven coming up, say in the next couple of months,
Good stuff.
and I'm excited for those.
Great
yeah.
stuff. That was fun. Good list.
It's a good one.
Okay, shall we?
All right,
1917.
1917. Let me pull up my stuff here.
Give us the dates.
All right, so yeah, we're doing 1917 this week. Synopsis: 2 young British soldiers during the First World War are given an impossible mission. Deliver a message deep into enemy territory that will stop 1,600 men and one of the soldiers' brothers from walking straight into a deadly trap. Year technically is 2019 because it came out in limited areas on December 25th.
Yeah.
But for all the rest of us, just came out this past weekend. Actors are the main character. Blake was Dean Charles Chapman, and the guy who played Schofield was George McKay.
Yeah.
But then we've got other people like Mark Strong,
Colin Firth.
Cucumber Batch. Yeah.
He's only in the movie for like 2 minutes.
Well, we have,
Moriarty.
Madden from
Moriarty was
in the movie.
from
You
Game of
Sherlock?
Thrones. Yeah, I've seen all of Sherlock.
Oh yeah, it was his brother
Richard Madden, I think is his name.
I don't remember his name either, but yeah, I forgot that was who that was. Directed by Sam Mendes, who did Skyfall.
He just makes good movies.
He does make some pretty darn good
makes
movies.
good movies.
Budget for it was $90 million, and as of 2 days ago, well, whatever. Yeah, 2 days ago would have been Sunday. It's made $36.5 million.
All right.
It beat Rise of Skywalker for opening.
It did. Had
weekend.
some Golden Globes hype
won-
behind it.
Yeah, it's already won. It won
Picture.
Best Picture and Best Director for the Golden Globes. Nominated for Oscars in Best Picture, Director, Production, Sound Mixing, Sound Editing, Original Screenplay, Cinematography, Makeup, Visual Effects, and the Score. So,
Wow.
a lot of the minor ones, but the big ones are
The
Best Picture and Best Director.
IMDb score?
Scores are 8.7 on IMDb,
Wow.
90% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Wow.
and 79 on
Wow.
Metacritic.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be higher or lower?
I thought it'd be higher on Metacritic and lower on Rotten Tomatoes. Or lower on IMDb. Like, I thought Metacritic would like it more than... if that makes sense.
And I always try to do this stuff after I score mine, because I don't want to have my
You don't wanna
views
influence, yeah.
swayed.
Squade?
Dennis Quaid?
But
That's funny.
That was a good one.
Really clever. I like that.
but after my score, I appreciated some of the scoring more. I was like, okay, yeah. Again, so
Interesting.
yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah,
I'm excited to talk about this movie. I think
it's a good one.
A lot
man.
of conversations I've had recently. I mean, I guess this weekend, since I saw the movie, have been about this movie. So
Yeah, dude.
a lot of people have been talking about it.
Did you go with your whole family? Who all went and saw it with you? If you don't mind me
Me,
asking.
Callie, Aiden, and my dad.
Okay,
It's my dad's birthday. We
Okay.
took him out to.
Happy birthday, Papa Ferguson.
Yeah,
that's right.
he just loves history movies.
And the interesting thing for me about this movie is, and you've heard me talk about my wife, Disney movie person, but likes other movies like Venom. She enjoyed it. She actually watched one of the trailers and are you guys gonna go see that for the podcast? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, I want to go too. I was like,
All right.
wow.
Yeah, Callie told me I asked her on a scale of 1 to 10 how much she was looking forward to watching this movie.
Yeah.
She said an 8.
Dang.
Wow.
I was like, dang, okay. So she loved it. She was really excited about it, and she doesn't get excited to go to the theater. She's like, movies are just movies for her.
Yeah, yeah.
But she was
oh,
excited
we'll
to see-
go.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of it's just like going to see a concert or see
Okay.
any random thing. It's just like, whatever. But yeah, she actually liked it a lot. It was fun. So.
Yeah. Well, Danielle went with me, and she had mixed feelings about it.
Mixed
so.
feelings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Kick
okay.
us off, AJ.
Yeah, so we have 5 sections we scored a movie based on. The first one is the idea/premise.
Okay.
For me, man, it was hard on this one because it's a war movie. So it's like, but is it a war movie, right? So it's set in war, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a war movie, right? It's not like a traditional war movie. So for that reason, I gave it some points because I thought it was a unique way to tell a story in a war setting and not make it a war movie, if that makes sense. It's more about the people and more about the drama than the war itself.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I gave this section a 9 out of 10. I love the lack of background, the lack of setup. Literally, you're just we're following these two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just going. I thought that was really bold, really brave. A lot of movies, they spend the first 10 or 15 minutes just setting you up an exposition, right? And this movie doesn't do any of that. They just drop you in there.
I don't feel like it's very needed for war movies. A lot.
No,
of,
yeah,
exposition.
it's
Agreed.
also really...
Most of the time, all right, World War II,
Yeah, no
America, or the Allies won eventually. So
and then
Right.
the other reason I gave it such a high score for this section was the one-shot thing, which we'll talk about that probably a lot more in the cinematic elements stuff. But for me, I wanted to reward the movie in this section as well, because to me that's part of the idea and that's part of the premise is this is the journey. This is going to help us tell the story better. And it helped the movie. Because if you take that away from the movie, to me, it weakens it. Which we can talk about that later, and we can kind of argue whether we think that helps or hurts the movie and whatever. But for me, I wanted to reward that. I wanted to reward the movie for that and more than just one section. So that's why I bumped the score. I had an 8, and then I thought about it a little bit more. I gave it a 9. So
Okay. I gave this section a 7.
Ooh.
Gave it a 7 because this felt very like Saving Private Ryan-y to me.
Yeah.
Like, here's these orders. You guys got to go save
Gotta
it.
go save this
Another
guy.
A brother is again.
Yeah.
Or like a brother to some effect is somewhat part of it.
right.
That's what I feel, and I just feel like this type of war story is a little rehashed, which sometimes it makes a good war movie. So I love this movie. Like, first off,
Yeah.
I liked it a lot, but I feel like it's kind of a rehashed plot line maybe. So I didn't feel like too much originality with it.
Yeah.
I think the only difference this movie really had is it was based in World War One. You don't really see a whole lot of World War One movies.
True.
That's why I didn't knock it anymore, because I was definitely aiming for a 6, and then I was like, I think a 7 probably suits us best. But no, for me, it's just nothing. It didn't feel new. I think I mean, we'll get into it later, but like you said, the whole one shot thing, that's more of a cinematic element to me. And I'll talk about that in more detail when we get there.
I totally feel that for sure.
For sure.
No, I did think about that because the connection to Saving Private Ryan is there. It's a different war, and obviously it's a totally different story, but it's the brother, it's the going on a mission to save them behind enemy lines, and it's risking all these people's lives to do that. So I totally see that. I see your point.
I have some more stuff too, but it's more in the plot section.
Yeah, no, I like
We'll get to later too.
Yeah.
But
I like it.
So I actually did give it a 6.
Oh wow.
Again, very gonna kind of echo a lot of what Luke said. Very, very simple. I mean, the idea and premise of this movie is, hey, you two go here and stop this.
Right.
On a high 35,000 feet level, that's what this movie is.
No doubt.
So this movie is all about, like you said, the journey, and what makes this movie shine for me is not this section.
Right.
It's
the
the
other section.
The other sections.
Yeah, and I feel that too. For me, I think part of the idea and premise, at least this is kind of how I scored it, was I kind of mentioned this earlier, but that is as much a part of the idea, because if you're sitting there and you're thinking of this idea, like Mendez is sitting there thinking about it, like he has to be creative because he knows the story itself is slow and boring. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of an older, kind of been tossed around story. So I think there was some creativity there, but I do see y'all's point, and it is kind of rehashed and kind of redone. But
what's saved, I think, its score for me for being any lower, because I said a 6 earlier, but I probably could have gone lower. This is something I was thinking about with scoring is, but like, how often do you see a movie that's shot this way from beginning to end, like no time skips, no something? Well, the only time skip is when he gets knocked out.
That
makes sense. All that changes was nighttime.
right.
Yeah.
But you never really see a story told like that. There's I said, no time skips, you're seeing it, everything, the good, the bad, the boring, the every bit of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that part is kind of what helped save its idea and premise score for me.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, for character, so I said that I loved Schofield's character.
Yeah.
Blake is okay.
He was hit or miss for me.
I liked him less than Schofield. I didn't he wasn't annoying to me.
He was one note.
But he was like, yeah. In the end, it worked out because he didn't have to help carry the movie.
Right.
I was worried at the beginning because I was like, man, this guy's he's okay. But once he kind of got plot, I guess spoiler, a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie yet. But so
he died.
He dies about 30 minutes into the movie, and I was genuinely really surprised when that happened.
I feel like it was more like 45 minutes to an hour.
It probably was closer to
an
it was
hour.
closer to 45 or I
Yeah.
don't know if it was anyway. It was. But it was relatively early in the movie
Right.
for one of the
I get
lead
you, I get
characters
you.
to
I get
die. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
Like, imagine if Qui-Gon dies at that point in the movie. You know,
Right.
it's like,
Who's gonna kill Liam Neeson?
Exactly.
30 minutes?
so, but for me, that was really surprising, and that's more of
Paid
a
a lot of
plot.
money for
That's
that.
more of a plot thing, I guess, than a character thing. But so I liked him less than I liked Schofield,
What'd you give character?
I gave character a 9 because of Schofield. Like he did so good and so interesting. And I love the side characters. Like they went all out and they got a really like heavy hitting cast for those characters that were only on screen for 5 minutes or less. Yeah. Like Mark Strong's character was really interesting, and I liked his character. He advanced the story. He was kind of interesting. He kind of gave a different spin on kind of the classic like macho, general person. Yeah. I liked Firth's character.
I think those guys felt more like baton characters, like passing a baton to a different section of the story.
No doubt, you're totally right.
Yeah.
I like Moriarty's character a lot. He was probably my favorite side character in the movie. He's the crazy guy who was like got up out of the thing. He was like, toss back the flare gun whenever you make it. He's probably my favorite side character in the movie because he was kind of different and unique. I forget his name.
I don't know his name.
Andrew Scott.
Yeah. And then I thought it was a really good development mainly for Schofield. Because in the beginning he's cold, he's jaded, he doesn't really like the idea of being a hero, laying his life down or anything like that. Like he has a really negative view on himself, negative view on the war. And then in the end, I don't want to talk about the end yet because I think I'd rather talk about that in plot and whatever else later. But I feel like that was a really that was a fun character arc to watch because I wasn't expecting it. Yeah. If I'm sitting there 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes in, I'm like, this guy, he's going to probably save everybody and, win the thing. And I'm not really going to care that much. By the end, I was like, man, this guy, I want this guy, to do what he's going to do. So, yeah, I gave it a 9. That's probably a little high. But, man, for whatever reason, he was really, really good. And he surprised me. I was not expecting that outcome at all. So that was genuinely surprising, pleasantly surprising for me.
So I gave this section a 6.
Okay.
I said it was because, like you said, Blake, he was kind of one note. He didn't change. Nothing happened with him. He was very just like, I gotta go save my brother and these 16,000 men or 1,600 men.
Yeah, he's very like a gung ho, just kind of let's go.
We gotta go do this. You mentioned the side characters that were in there. Like I said, they're the baton characters. Those characters, they were just in there to progress the story on.
Well, and to not be the same guy on screen.
Here's this section to this section to this section to this section. It was cool that they got all these huge actors to play these characters. That was really cool. Yeah, it kind of felt right. It felt like those were the generals of Hollywood in a way, and they put those guys into those roles. That was cool. Schofield's character for me. He's obviously the one we're going to talk the most about because he had the most screen time. Right. Yeah. But he also kind of felt one-notish to me. I didn't think he developed that much. It was all kind of because I guess at the beginning it felt to me like he was in for I'm going with my buddy on this mission. Right. Yeah. And then he had that one moment of what the heck are we doing? That was after that bunker collapses.
He wanted to go back.
He had that one moment, and then he was just kind of still going on with it. And to me, I always knew he was going to finish the mission. I never felt like he wasn't going to do anything. Right. He just had that one lapse in what he was going to do.
For just real quick. Yeah. For me, I thought the two scenes that changed him the most were the one, obviously when Blake died, and he was holding him in his arms, and he showed the picture on his chest and all the whatever. That scene kind of changed him for the better. And then the other scene that changed him was the scene in the bunker or the basement with the woman with the daughter or the kid. I guess it wasn't her daughter, but and then at the end of the movie, we obviously find out that he has a family that he's trying to go back home to. Yeah. And so for me, that was fun to watch. And we hear him talk about the metal that doesn't mean anything. It's just tin and ribbon, right? And then Blake says no, it's something for people to remember you by, your family, whatever. And he's like, no, I don't really care about that stuff, right? And then I don't know,
traded for a wine from a
right, yeah, traded, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So for me, that arc was enough for me to say, this guy, he changed, he grew, he developed because of this journey that he went on. Yeah. Because when he sits down at the end of the movie and underneath the tree and he looks at the picture with the note on it and everything. Mom
and whatnot.
I thought it was his wife and his daughter.
That lady looked way too old to me.
Oh, I interpreted it the way AJ did.
I thought it was his wife and his daughter.
Because she looks pretty old.
Because the whole time, it's black and white too, so it kind of makes sense. But for me, the whole time, I just assumed he was a single dude, and that's why he doesn't give like a flip about anything. It's because I have nothing to lose, right? And I don't care. This is stupid. I don't really want to be here anymore, but I signed up, so whatever.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie, for me at least, we realized that his entire motivation, the whole movie, was to get home to his family.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really powerful for me, at least.
I get what you're saying. I think those moments.
I see
for
your
me,
point too.
Those were kind of misses for me because
I feel that.
I saw those moments. I saw them for what they were going to be. I just don't think they were like powerful enough or that like altering to him. It felt to really change him as a character.
I don't think each one by themselves changed him like monumentally in the moment.
It was a collection.
I think those two, and then the moment in the forest, whenever he's sitting there like exhausted, listening to the guy sing with all the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those three moments, and then obviously the scene that's in the trailer where he goes up and runs across, and all the explosions are going behind him, and that's really cool.
Super cool.
Like that was for me. That was kind of his way of saying like, yeah, like I'm a hero now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, like. Because you have to do so much interpreting in a movie like this.
Very true.
On your own, because there's not any exposition whatsoever.
Well, that's the thing. Like I interpreted him, I guess, way differently than what you guys interpreted him.
And so to me, that's why this movie is so like hit or miss, and that's why it sounded like Danielle has mixed feelings because, like, there's so much self-interpretation going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know. So, what do you think?
So I agree on many points with both of you. I agree that, Blake for me was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a plot advancement. Like, obviously, if
he's not there,
if the brother wouldn't have been at the place, they wouldn't have went anywhere. You know what I mean? He's a plot. But the side characters were. I agree with the whole baton thing. They were cool. I did enjoy. Yeah, I think my favorite one was Mark Strong. You know, he kind of had those moments with like, all right, dude, we're gonna get you there, and all this stuff. I enjoyed Schofield very similarly to AJ. I do agree that he started off very, why'd you pick me? You could have picked anybody else. Why'd you pick me? To then his friend dies in his arms. He kind of has this moment with the whole cherry trees thing, which was weird at first, but then it came back around. And then the whole milk thing, like it was just like there was a ton of foreshadowing in this movie. But like, that moment, and then like you said, when he's going through the town and he's, fighting for his life with a little rifle.
A really
and
cool
that's
scene.
it.
Yeah.
And then, getting there and he's just wiped. You just see it like there was just that look of defeat on his, like, he's like, I'm never going to make it. There's no way. And then he is there and it's like, wait, what?
He's there.
Yeah. So like he's like, okay, I've come this far. I'm gonna finish it for my friend who died, kind of thing. So I gave it an 8. I don't know if I said that or not.
I forgot about the rose scene. That was really cool. The rosebuds. Whenever he goes to the river and you can see all the That was really cool.
Looks like snow.
Yeah. An 8. And you said
I gave it an 8.
6.
Cool. Okay, plot. For me, this was the weakest section. I gave it a 7. It was overly simple, a little slow in the middle. I like the twist of killing one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So I tried to reward it a little bit for that because it did something a little bit unorthodox, a little bit interesting. And then I liked the climax and the resolution. So for me, I knocked it points for being overtly simple, which if you asked the director, that was like, he was not worried about that. Obviously, like that was part of the story. So So I knocked it points for that. I knocked it points for being a little slow in the middle. So basically, from the scene where Blake dies until he jumps in the river, for me, there's some cool stuff in there, but
the flares at night was really cool, where he's running.
So there's a lot of really cool things in there.
That was
like, and I like the shootout on the bridge with the sniper in the tower. I like the flare. Like, I like those scenes. And I like the scene with the girl in the basement. But, like, for me, like, I don't know, just not much happened.
There's not
like,
a whole lot of plot.
Yeah, it's pretty slow there in the middle. So, for those two reasons, I knocked out some points. And then the reasons I kind of added points back were the climax was awesome, man. Whenever he's running on the...
That was really cool. I was telling someone today, that's probably one of my favorite scenes in a movie in the last probably 5 years.
It was really, really cool. And then he finally gets to Cumberbatch. I have no idea what his character's name is.
Captain McKenzie?
It is
Yeah.
Mackenzie. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
It's Mackenzie, and he gets there, and Mackenzie's like, "Nah, we can't do that." I was like, "What?"
And see, that was another thing that I really liked about Mark Strong's character, how he was like, when you talk to him, make sure there's somebody else
Witnesses.
there.
Yeah, witnesses.
Because he's
Some
the
men just
man
wanna
who...
fight.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
That's pretty good.
That's one, sorry.
And then the resolution. I love the resolution. I was talking to somebody, and they hated it. The ending, like the very ending, whenever he goes and finds the brother, and he gives him the rings and the picture.
Yeah.
And then he sits by the tree. Like, someone I was talking to hated that last 5 minutes. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a perfect ending.
I thought it was good. That's
the movie.
it's
So
the
for me-
reality of war, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
And that's
for me.
what's going to happen. He's going to skip off into the sunset.
exactly.
The
I was like,
war's
what
over
did you
all of a
want?
sudden.
What did you want
Right.
the ending to be?
You got because
Yeah.
he's still got to go to war.
Yeah,
People are going to
no
die.
doubt.
Right.
It's fitting for a war movie.
So for me, I gave it a 7. That felt like a really good, fair score without being too, like, I love this movie, so I'm going to give it a high score. But it also was like, this plot was the worst section. I'm not just going to, like, bomb it. So that was my way of kind of meeting in the middle.
Yeah. I gave this section a 6. I also agree this is definitely the weakest section. I have the most notes on this section.
Oh.
I'm just it's
Do
not it's not as much as my episode 8 notes, but I'll start going down the list real quick.
Do it.
So very slow in areas. This movie for me
Yeah.
felt like you could separate it in blocks.
Yeah.
And kind of like
Yeah.
I said, it's in between like the relay race, the sections between like the baton holders, which were the the big characters.
Yeah.
Just because like you said, after Blake, before Blake died, I was like, man, this is things are happening, the
Yeah.
music's cool and all that. Then
Yeah.
Blake dies, and man, the movie just took like a
Yeah.
until about maybe for me it was like the flares part where he's running at night.
See, I liked the bridge when he's walking across the bridge and the sniper shoots at him. Like, that was exciting for a second because you didn't see the bullet thing coming.
Right.
It came out of nowhere. But I see what you're saying. Like, that like 20 or 30 minute gap in there was just...
It was like,
But it might have been on purpose because you're trying to show the isolation of the main character. You're trying to show that he's kind of figuring things out by himself now. And he has to push the truck. Remember the scene where he has to push the truck out of the mud? Like,
I mean, it is, but
you're
I
right,
think,
the plot didn't advance, but they kind of use that section more for like the character building, I guess.
well, I'll talk about more when we get to Cinematic Elephants, but I think that's one of the downfalls of shooting the movie the way it was shot.
Sorry, you said cinematic elephants.
Elephants.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love well, whenever we get to that section, the Cinematic Elephants, I'll let you guys know.
The elephant section.
I was curious what you were thinking. I was like, that started coming back. I was like, I think
Sorry.
I said elephants. And then you said it. I was like, yeah, I said elephants.
It's amazing.
But the way the movie was shot, I think was, in some parts, it was a hindrance to the plot.
yeah.
Because the way they told the stories of being
Yeah.
you're following them from point A to point B without missing a beat.
Yeah.
I think that created slow moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also impossible to keep the movie just hyped the whole time.
No doubt. Well, and
that.
it's exhausting for the audience.
Yeah, it is
It's not
exhausting.
sustainable.
But it's also, it creates a hindrance
Yeah.
because it
Well, and
creates
I
those
think-
slow moments.
I think they made that decision knowing they're going to suffer here, but they're going to reap the benefits here, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
And it's kind of like Tarantino. Like, he decides to, shrink down plot in some of his movies and like make them all about character development. And so it's win some, you lose some kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
see your point because I totally agree with you that middle 30 minutes was pretty.
It
slow.
also created the movie to be pretty predictable. I thought the movie was
Yeah.
very predictable. Like the moment before Blake gets stabbed, and for like that
Did you see
5
that
seconds that scope, I saw that coming a mile away. As soon as
Really?
they pulled the German out and they had the shot of just Schofield walking to get water, I saw that coming a mile away. Like there's no, like in my mind I was like, there's no way that like Blake's gonna
Wow.
get stabbed here because
Yeah.
like I don't know. I guess
Did you see it coming too?
So I'll tell you why here in a minute. Finish your
Yeah.
thought, Luke.
I
but
did not see it coming at all. Like that was
no.
I was shocked.
Soon as they did that, like I guess
Like, I figured he would hold him at gunpoint, and then Schofield would shoot him, and
Yeah.
they'd be okay, and they would keep going.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they're not going to kill anybody yet. And then he stabbed him, and he started bleeding out. I was like, oh, he'll fix him as just in his, like, side.
Yeah.
And he, like, died, and I was like, what? That was really surprising to me.
I guess knowing how the movie is shot and stuff, and like you could see, there's another cinematic element, but you can see when they did the stitching, when they did cut, and like then went back into something else, and so you could see the way they had to shoot it made it predictable, and those aspects. Like I said, I think the movie took a dip after Blake died. That's the slow part I talked about.
Yeah.
What else? I didn't think we needed the lady scene and the baby. I didn't think we needed that at all.
I think, yeah, I went back and forth on that because I thought at first I was like, man, this is random. This is weird. This is just kind of a waste of 5 or 10 minutes. But then I was like, well, he got off the street, so that's kind of the plot, I guess, as he's, hiding.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a subplot there of kind of the effects of war in general, kind of making just kind of a little bit of a, like showing the wider effects.
Well, I think the way they did it, it made it feel almost like possible like love interest kind of thing.
Yeah,
well,
I never felt the love interest thing.
The way, and it didn't dawn on me until you mentioned it a minute ago in a different way. It was more of a character development thing the way I saw it, because it was him really realizing that he did have a reason to go home. Because then because I thought
it was his wife and daughter.
The picture of at the end looked very, very similar to the girl in the basement. Yeah. So it probably was, and we're not knowing that beforehand, so we don't but I thought about it later. I was like, man,
the payoff.
That's just a big motivator for him is kind of how I saw it. But I agree it was weird at the time.
Yeah.
But now looking back, it makes more sense.
Yeah, and to me it shows the effects of war, and it shows how it negatively affects the people around him. But it also shows another reason why he's fighting. It's for his family, yes, and it's for his friend who just died, yes. But it's also for those people who are suffering, horrible things because of this war.
Well, it makes sense in the sense of war, because you do see like the ramifications of it. She's like, I don't know whose baby this is. I don't know its name.
Yeah.
Think about that scene in Fury whenever they go to that room upstairs.
Yeah.
It's the same idea, right?
Yeah.
It's let's show the normal, kind of normalcy of life as it is because of the war, and then let's just kind of mess it up again. So.
Well, I got four more points here.
I see your point.
Yeah. I also think the characters were way too trusting. Like, good God, like pulling the German out and like let's give him water. I was like, and then even after that, when he's trying to like just go past the other German soldier, he's got his hand on his mouth and he like nods, and the German soldier nods back. He's like, okay, I'll take my hand off, and then I'm like, I could have told you that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't think you learned your lesson already.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Let's see. In the end, and just kind of what Cucumber Patch's Captain McKenzie, what his character says is like him giving him that note and preventing this. That doesn't change much. Like stuff's still gonna happen.
Well, they're gonna charge again in a week or whatever.
Yeah. Like it didn't, which I think depreciated the plot as a whole a little bit, just knowing that this didn't mean that much. Which you said it's more about the journey earlier, which
it's not about
which I like. Yeah,
to me that was a conscious decision from them as writers and directors.
But that's also the truth of war. Like that one.
That's also the truth of World War One.
Yeah.
World War One was just a bunch of battles that meant squat.
Yeah, for sure. Like literally, they fought for 4 years over this patch of land, and they advanced and they advanced and it just So
but I agree with your point. But
I see what you're saying. I did love that scene though because of. Man, I thought that interchange was really, really strong. Yeah. That was great.
I really liked the last
dialogue.
20 minutes. That was very
so
good. I thought the characters seemed invincible at some points. Like
invincible?
Like invincible. Like especially Schofield. It seemed like he survived a lot.
He
sure he could have been running on like adrenaline and stuff.
You're right. But they did a good job of showing.
That was another thing that foreshadowed for me a lot that Blake was going to die, because from like the beginning of the movie on, like Schofield got the crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
He
cut his hand on
the building drop. Yeah, he cut his hand
on the barbed
He probably
wire.
has a terrible infection from sticking his hand in that dead body.
That dead body.
The dead body.
And then the building
collapses on him.
Tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets
he gets shot at.
He's
he gets
in the blast radius of
concussion.
some grenades when he's run through that trench.
He gets destroyed in that river for a while.
Well, that dude shot him in the helmet, and he fell down the stairs.
He got knocked out, and he dropped on his head.
Well, he was obviously exhausted by the end of it when he went down by the tree. But I was like, man, this guy's like, how's he not dead yet?
Well, and it's also, you got to remember, it's pure adrenaline.
Right.
You're an athlete. You play through pain. You play through, and obviously this guy's experiencing more than just like a rolled ankle or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of that. Like, you're in a friggin' war, right? And your life is at risk. So I think it's kind of like, adrenaline is
Times like
part
10.
times a million. Yeah, yeah, and they do a good job of showing him being exhausted and being injured and being, kind of wiped out from all this stuff.
Yeah.
So no, I see your point though. That he definitely seems
He
invincible.
did,
At one
yeah.
point, I was like, "Dang, this guy's day."
Captain America over
Because
here.
it's been what 12 hours maybe tops.
I think at one point they said that the whole journey should have taken him like 8 or 10 hours.
Yeah, so less than 12 hours. This guy's half a day has been just brutal.
It's like Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
I got one last one. This is the scene where he's getting shot at in the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where were the people at? Like he
The tower.
literally just gotten off a truck, and all of a sudden he starts
Yeah.
getting shot at, and I was like,
Oh,
where's
you
those
mean
guys?
They
who
were
just
already
hang-
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
and yeah, you're right. No,
For
you're
me,
right.
I was just
I was gonna defend them for a second, but
So
you're
the
right.
guys sitting in the back of the trunk aren't watching this guy. They just like helped him get out of the mud pit and stuff, and just rode with for 30 minutes, getting shot at. Like
Yeah.
They
I don't know,
did. They were in-
that
They're
seemed
just like, meh. psh.
They were in the back of that.
Screw
truck
that
for
guy.
Too long. I didn't like the truck scene.
it was weird.
I see the need for it, but
But anyway, that's my last
Yeah,
point.
I
On
feel
plot.
you.
That's
I
my
got
last
you.
point on plot.
I got you. What was your score? 6?
6.
I gave it 7. What'd you give?
I gave it a 6 also.
6. Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, so I knew from the trailers how this movie was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew... Well,
I mean, it's all one shot, so it's hard to
no, I mean, I knew Blake was going to die from the trailer.
because he's not in the end.
Yeah, he's
Because,
not.
yeah.
He's not in
Yeah,
there.
like-
No, you're right. Yeah.
And so that was why, for me, I saw it coming. And yeah, immediately, I agree with Luke 100%.
See, I
you
thought-
pull a German soldier out of a plane,
Yeah.
you better just shoot him.
Right.
Yeah.
Or something bad's going to happen.
Yeah,
And
just
it
leave
did.
him on fire. Yeah.
Or
No,
just, leave him on fire.
I mean, I remember I saw the trailer. I was like, well, that's weird. That's 2 guys, and then there's 1 guy. So I was like, he kind of gets lost in the middle somewhere. So I figured he would die somewhere. But like that, I don't know. For me, that just felt too early, and that's why it surprised me.
It was
But
early,
I do
but-
feel the German soldier thing. Like, and then he
But-
does it. I forgot. I didn't realize he did it again the second time. with
I'd forgotten about
covered
that.
the
Yeah,
mouth.
like, come on,
that was
dude.
dumb. Yeah, that was
I mean,
really
even
dumb.
if his buddy was drunk off his
that
butt.
just
like,
happened too. Like,
That was my biggest moment of just like you would think in that
Like,
moment he
what?
would kill him instantly because
Oh,
because
dude.
he just
like
no
that
doubt.
would make more sense. But instead he's trying like
No
all right,
doubt.
let me pass.
Well, and the guy that was like laying down half dead still shot at him.
yeah,
Right? So like those German dudes are not gonna just like let you do
No.
whatever. Yeah. So what you said 6?
I gave it a 6 as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into too many of like because yeah, I agree honestly, almost 100% with every one of Luke's points.
Yeah.
And you guys hit it really well. But yeah, for me, it was just too simple, too predictable, but it's very much like you said. That's not what makes this movie good.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, I do feel like it was a conscious decision by the writers and the director to say, hey, the story's going to be really predictable, but
Yeah.
we're going to do it with characters and the way we
A
do
bunch
it.
of really cool other stuff.
Well, it just felt like it was like the perfect predictable movie.
Yeah.
Everything
I mean,
was
But it
everything
wasn't-
was done
But
extremely
it wasn't
well.
It wasn't not fun to watch. Like
No,
it was
I had a great
still
time.
enjoyable. Like it
Yeah.
I was all into it. Yeah, I'm definitely buying it. What comes
Yeah.
For me, the last thing, which we can talk about this later if you guys want to. We can save it for later for the ending, kind of talking about as far as what we thought of like the last couple of scenes. Because for me, that was one of the reasons I saved. Because I had plot pretty low. I was
Yeah.
with you guys. I was wanting to put like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, the ending was so good. Like that last, like that redeemed
Yeah.
it for me a little
I'll
bit.
agree.
That was
So that's
really
kind of
good.
why I bumped it up a little bit. So we can talk about that later.
Oh, another thing that I have with this movie, and I think this is what hurt it a little bit, was there was almost half the movie had no dialogue.
Yeah,
And I
it was kind of a
feel
silent
like
film in
that.
moments.
I feel like that hurt the plot as well, because, and it, if you're gonna do that, have it maybe be more emotion.
Yeah.
But it's where the next section for me, with having no dialogue, makes the next section so good for me. So
Oh.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And like I said, I think that section that we just talked about plot was weak to make the other one strong.
Yeah.
Like character is better because plot's weak.
right.
This section, tension, urgency, conflict's better because plot is weak. Cinematic elements are better. Whatever.
There's also some pretty big conveniences in this movie. Like you're like, oh, that's convenient.
The
Like him running
that
from
people-
that German, he kicks open that wooden part and goes down. That's where the lady is.
Oh yeah.
And then
How
yeah, that
people
just
just
kinda
show
worked-
up to
that
be
just kinda
like,
worked out.
Hi, do you need
after
help?
the dude dies,
dude
he was
that-
like, "Hey."
I thought that was the weirdest part in the movie. I was like, they're in the middle of flipping
I
nowhere.
thought it would have been stronger if he
And
was on
then-
his own for like 30 minutes and then he ran into people or something like that.
I-
And how big of idiots were the German soldiers? Like, there's parts in the movie where he was like running in a straight line and the German soldiers are running behind him like with their guns at the hip shooting like this. I'm like,
Yeah.
just stop, aim, and shoot for a second, like, and you'll kill him.
No doubt.
All right, conflict, tension, or
Sorry.
The
Sorry.
stormtrooper.
No, dude.
Stormtrooper
I mean,
syndrome.
yeah, it's like we said, plot struggles.
It does.
Okay, conflict, tension, urgency. I said good conflict, not great. Like the
Well, it's a
internal
war movie.
Yeah, it's a war movie, so the conflict's there 100%. The internal conflict was pretty solid,
Yeah.
especially for Schofield. For me, could have been, I don't know, it could have been handled a little bit better, but anyway, I thought that was strong. The moments of tension in this movie were strong, like
For sure.
real strong.
For sure.
The urgency, there's urgency throughout because it's literally on a clock the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's shot in real time. So if he doesn't get there in time, then we're screwed.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, the urgency and the tension were like, and then the
Yeah.
conflict was, but it was pretty good. So I gave it a 9. Man, there were several moments when I was like, I didn't want to move. I didn't want to blink. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And they did such a good job with big, loud, cool music, and then bring it down
No, the score was good.
Yeah.
nice and silent, and you're just like, it's kind of Quiet Place-esque. You're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want to move because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like if I make noise, it's gonna make something happen in the movie.
Right,
Yeah.
but you're sitting there like, okay, so when the rat jumps down and touches
Oh
the
my
wire,
God.
the whole row, the entire row, literally stands and goes, they all stood up, like jumped out of their seat. And I was
Yeah,
like
dude.
sitting there like this at this point, so I didn't jump because I saw it. Once he saw the wire, I was like,
Yeah.
and that was the first time in the whole movie that it got loud. Like
Yeah.
my theater was like relatively quiet because it's all music and talking, and they're just kind of walking
was
around. And it was literally like,
Yeah.
and it was all college dudes, and they all flipped out, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey. I look at Callie, and she was like, it was awesome.
I
Like,
did
that
not
was
expect for that big
like
of a blast to happen.
literally.
No.
It was just, oh, it was awesome. Dude.
That was cool.
so good. So whenever they go in there in the dark with the flashlight,
Yeah.
they were just there were
Dude.
several moments of really great just tension in this movie.
So a little note about that, and I don't know if you've watched it yet. I know you said you got Overlord. Did you watch that movie
I
yet?
haven't watched it yet, no.
So I told you what the movie's about. It's like zombies and World War II. And
Right.
everything. But like the entire time, that movie's kind of ruined me because like even in the trailers, I was like, "Oh crap, a zombie's gonna jump out!" And I was like, "Oh wait, different movie."
Yeah.
Wrong movie. Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
That's funny. What did you think?
I give a section a 7.
Nice.
Like you said, I think the tension was like there's moments where like Daniel was like holding my hand, and
Yeah.
she would like grip my hand like
Yeah.
real quick because she thought
Yeah.
something was gonna happen but didn't.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
my
No doubt.
tension was so built up. I was like, like,
Dude,
what-
the scene with the flares.
yeah.
Oh,
when they
my
were crossing
gosh.
no man's land, I was
Yeah,
like,
the first bit.
yeah, going
Because
through
you're
the
just
German
expecting something to
bunker.
happen.
Well, yeah, and that's
Nothing
another thing
happened.
too, is because the general said, "Oh yeah, they're gone," and you believe that at first, and then you get to Moriarty's character, and he's like, "Dude, that's BS.
They
Yeah.
just killed
They're
us
over
yesterday.
there. Like, what are they
You're
saying?"
just sitting there, you're skeptical the whole time.
It's
You're like,
like,
is
yeah.
he right? Is he not right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Well,
"Who
and they
was
just
right?"
annihilated all of us like 2 days ago, whatever
Yeah.
he said. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yeah, tension, like urgency was there because that's what it was. I do think he could have had a little bit more urgency in some parts. Like if he would have not hung out with that lady for maybe 5 less minutes, he would have got there and saved some people at the end in the first wave. Like
Well,
Well,
fair.
he sits in the forest and listens to that song for a second.
That's fair.
But that's also before he knew where he was. He didn't know that he was actually there.
He was
yet.
exhausted too,
And he
but I
was
think he could have
wiped
saved. He
out.
could have shaved off some minutes
Well,
if he
you're right.
really wanted
You're
to.
right.
That's
But
fair.
that dude had been through a lot that day. So
Yeah,
She deserved to sit down
Mr.
for a second.
Invincible. But I do think a lot of that. I do think some of those elements like are completely gone in some sections, like in the truck scene. I'm not feeling tension, urgency, or nothing there.
Yeah.
But see, to me, that scene is all about his internal conflict. He's just sitting there staring and listening in silence.
It was like best friend in the war just died.
Yeah,
too,
and
It's like-
he's trying. You're trying to show on screen without talking, without him talking. He's processing and thinking, and yeah,
Or like this, yeah. I mean, no tension with when they're getting the truck out, but like that was a total moment. Like I have to go.
he's
kind of
yelling.
Yeah.
He's yelling it, and all these guys are just like walking around, just like chilling, not
Yeah.
doing it. And he's just screaming at them.
Right.
So yeah, not a tension moment, but yeah. I
Still
get what
character
you're saying.
I think I think it completely left. almost got the breath knocked out of you, and like 'cause none of it was there, and then it was like all there. It was like,
Yeah,
none
and
there,
the
all
scene
there.
when
So
he
it wasn't
decides
blocked.
to stand up and run, like the scene we were talking about earlier, with all the explosions.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Dude,
That was a hero
Well,
moment.
so good.
This movie had more moments for me where I legitimately jumped.
Yeah,
Because because it was very much because like you said, it's soft, and then the big the explosion, or even when he got shot at the first time by the dude in the tower, I was like, oh
he's
shoot, he got shot at.
Oh, he's like walking and balancing. It's like totally quiet, and you're like, oh, okay, he's got this. He's got, and it's like,
yeah, I did not expect
like that was crazy.
that to happen.
Yeah.
I haven't felt this much like tension or any of that in a war movie since probably like Enemy at the Gates.
Yeah,
Great movie.
it
Yeah,
was a good movie. But yeah, so
Good stuff. What'd you give it?
I actually gave it a 10.
nice.
Mainly for conflict, not a whole lot.
It's there.
Other than it's a war movie. It's
there.
yeah.
Right.
But the tension for me, and
Dude,
obviously this whole movie is built on urgency.
Right, no doubt.
Even though it may not have been at the forefront of the character's mind, that's the forefront of the audience's
Of our mind, we're like, dude, you gotta go.
Why are you walking? Run,
no doubt.
So
No,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Okay, cinematic elements is the last section we
Hold
score.
on, this section deserves a billion out of a billion. I'm gonna say that right now.
dude,
I gave it an 11 out of 10.
oh
Dude,
snap!
for this part, freaking. If there's a section like we always talk about characters carrying this part.
Here we go,
freaking-
Luke.
This is like this movie was made for Luke
This
just to
part
talk
of the
about
movie
this
got me
section of this
so
movie.
stinking jazzed like the whole time. This part was, if there's a part that this carried the movie for me.
I
Okay,
100% agree.
Okay, so
You talk about it, but I got some freaking like good feelings about this section.
There we go.
There's no bad about it.
so I gave it an 11 out of 10.
Oh,
I've
legitimately
I've
gave
never,
it an
I've
11.
never done that before.
You legitimately
I
gave it
did.
an 11.
I'll allow it.
I did
I'll allow it.
because like
Dude,
I literally I walked away and I was like, how did they do that? How did they do that? How did they do that? How did
Yeah.
they do that? Oh yeah, that scene too. The first time, okay, so obviously we're talking about the camera thing, I guess, but and a lot of other things, but the first scene that I noticed it and I was like, wait, what? Is whenever they go in like no man's land and there's the big puddle with water and they go into the water.
Camera goes over the water.
and they show
Yes.
the whole puddle
Yeah.
and then they go down and then they walk across the rim this way and the camera goes this way.
That was stupid.
And
Dude.
I was like, is he in the water? Is he
'Cause there's
holding
no
the camera
ripples.
like this?
It was a crane.
And then I watched the
That's-
bonus features. It's a flipping crane.
Yeah.
And then they
Same
Take-
thing with him crossing the bridge.
Yeah.
And then I watched the special features and it's the scene of him jumping into the water
Yeah.
and the camera guy like legit like
He's on a wire.
I was like what? So then I watched every special feature thing I could find.
See, I
on the
need to
inter-
watch
on
more.
the internet.
I've just kind of
I
done my
found-
interpretation.
Yeah.
I found them all. I
might have to send
watched
me
probably
some.
2 hours worth.
Oh my god.
Like the night I went home from the theater, I stayed up probably till 1 in the morning watching.
Dang.
I watched everything IMDb had. I watched everything YouTube had. I watched it all because I was like in awe of what they
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Because the cameraman is literally like part of the story. He's part of the
Yes.
journey, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
felt like a character
So they
at some
used
points.
cranes. They used Steadicam. They used Jeeps, trucks,
Yep.
wires. Like it was insane. So anyway, 11 out of 10 for me. I said amazing cinematography, great acting, amazing stunts, like really, really cool stunts, especially to be done live action like a play in the sense of you're just rolling at this point and there's
Right.
no like, oh, we'll do that cut again real quick. Like you
Yeah.
were rolling with it.
Yeah.
Very little CGI. And
See,
then
that was going to be one of my questions.
very little CGI. And then amazing set design. So they built all those trenches. They dug a mile of trenches
Dang.
and actually built all of that.
That one looked like it was like on the Salt Planet. That's episode 8.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. So all that to say, this was one of the best like cinematic films I've seen in a hot minute. Like man, like I was skeptical. Like it got Best Picture. You know, there's a lot of good movies this year, and I left
Too
and I
many.
was like, gosh, dude, like I totally see that winning Best Picture. Like, it was so good.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, the camera stuff for me, that was the first scene that I noticed that like they're not just walking anymore. They're using all kinds of crazy stuff. Did it take y'all a while to get used to it? At the beginning, at the very,
No,
very
and
beginning?
I'll tell you why. So for me, And I'm gonna say a few things, then I'm gonna give Luke.
Yeah, I
the
want
rest
Luke to
of
have
the
like the
floor.
last thing.
Yeah. So for me, I gave it a 10.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously, I didn't think to go 11, but
Dude.
okay.
I was kind of kidding at first, but y'all were like, okay, and I was like, oh, I'll go.
This was,
All right.
3D movies have had their whole play and everything like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I didn't watch this movie in 3D because it wasn't done that way. But this was the most immersive
Yep.
film I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Like, I legit felt like I was
You're on the journey
right behind
with
the dude.
with them. Yeah,
Like, I
that's
was.
what I'm saying. The cameraman literally
Yeah.
is a part of the journey, and he's us. Like
Yeah.
we are literally taken to
Yeah.
World War One.
So, like, that was the best thing of the whole. Yeah, like you said, for me.
So for about 5 or 10 minutes, it bothered me
it
at
did.
the very beginning. Whenever we're just walking behind them,
Mm.
that bothered me.
I-
And then they stopped and they talked to somebody. I have no idea who. And the cameraman like shifted it around them.
Yeah.
And then walked backwards.
Yeah.
And they walked into the shot. From that point on, I was like, let's go. I was
Yeah, I mean, I think it didn't bug me, but I kind of had to make myself stop analyzing
like stop
it.
thinking about it. Because
Like-
I kept waiting for them to cut. I knew they weren't going to cut. Like I knew that going into the movie.
Right.
And I just kept waiting for the cut. I was like, this is so like it's driving me crazy. Like my brain can't handle the amount of like stress and tension in this shot.
Yeah.
And it just
But
it just
and I mean,
carried
I
it.
loved the way that they rotated around them.
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah.
Like how it went from like one side, and I feel like that was maybe part of it too, because when it did that, it felt like it was a very pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Pun intended, because
Right.
it pivots around. But
Right.
like it made it to feel like you wanted to had to think a bit more of like, okay, well maybe this is like the internal stuff and stuff that's not said was all done with this
Well,
amazing camera
if they just
work.
follow them from in front or from behind the whole time, it's boring. It's stale. It gets it gets kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
But they were so good at being above them or behind them or below them, or they would shoot and they would go off randomly this way and show you a dead body or show you whatever, and then come back, or they'd show you the water and they'd be on the frame, but they would be over here.
Yeah.
Or like they just did so many creative things. They put the barbed wire in between them and the camera.
Yeah.
They just did so many things like that to kind of give your brain and your eyes a break,
Yeah.
but also keeping that style and keeping that kind of art form going.
Yeah.
It was so well done.
So one last thing for me, and then Luke's gonna have the next 30 minutes. Was the little, and I mean, again, you can't really do it, but the lack of CGI.
So the
How
only
everything-
thing that I even assumed was CGI was the airplanes in the sky that were flying.
Oh,
around.
I didn't even think about that. That
was
probably
it.
The only thing that I thought was CGI, and this is again me not watching the special effects, and it sounds like it wasn't, was him diving into the river. That was the only part of the movie that I was like, that did not look good.
There's the part where he goes over the waterfall in that section. I was like,
Yeah,
that was like the first kind of like miss for me. I was like, that looked a little weird.
yeah, but other than that, I mean, yeah,
The airplanes
like,
in the sky, I think, were CGI.
I mean, that's
and then
that's
because he
fair.
goes under the hill, and then the real airplane pops
Yeah.
up, and they just kind of pushed it down.
You know,
the
the
hill.
cow looked CGI. When they were on the farm, I was sitting there looking at the cow. I was like, something about that cow. It's weird.
I didn't notice it, but I mean, I really appreciated how like
little CGI.
the little CGI, but I mean, even like the the dead horse, and then the dead body that his hand fell in. I legitimately thought he cut his hand too.
gross. That's so
Like
gross.
I mean,
was
like
gross.
oh man,
My-
they really made the actor cut his hand on barbed wire for this.
Those
whole-
rats looked real if they were real.
Rats looked real too.
My whole theater was like, ugh, whenever he put his hand in the guy's.
Yeah.
Like
That was
literally, that was when I knew it was
Like,
going to be a fun. I knew that was going to be a fun crowd whenever they go, ugh, and then they go, and they jump. But okay, so real quick, I noticed 3 cuts.
Okay.
I
block-
noticed 2,
Block 1,
but I want to know if Luke agrees.
and there's more. I mean, obviously they kind of lace some things together, but the one that I noticed obviously is the one that he blacks out.
Yeah.
From that point backward, as far as I can remember, is one shot.
There's about 3 that I could think of.
Total.
In the middle.
Before that.
Oh.
3 that I can remember.
The next one is the water. When it goes
Yeah.
into the water, there's an opportunity there to cut
Yeah.
because it's
Those are the only 2 that I
It's
noticed.
kind of blurry. Those are the 2 like biggest ones. There were a couple of small things. There'll be like a rock face or whatever, and it'll be close on that as they pan around over here. And it's so close and it's all kind of the same color ish
Uh,
to where you could easily
Yeah.
slice that. But other than that, like for me, like
I'll-
they shot
I'll
this.
list mine off.
They had to have shot this movie in like 15 or 20 minute
Yeah.
increments. Like it had to be. Because every once in a while
dude,
they have
I don't
those-
know. Like for me, not really being experienced in this, I legitimately thought it was from the beginning
hour 1 to hour 2.
The beginning to the blackout was one, and then
Blackout
from
to
the
the water.
blackout to the water, and then the water to
thing,
to me that's how it.
And
worked.
honestly, the water could have been a dunk.
yeah,
Just
I mean,
kept on rolling. Like it
Right.
could have not even been a cut. And the blackout, technically, I guess, no, they probably would have cut that. But
Well, there wasn't enough dialogue in it to where they really needed to sit there and like, all right, line, and like
That's
do all
true.
that. There was like very minimal dialogue in that aspect.
They said-
very simple dialogue.
they said they rehearsed for 6 months.
I don't doubt
a
it.
play.
Dude.
Like
I
they
mean,
rehearsed
to be able to sit there and
over
do those increments
and
like
over
that for
and
sure.
over.
Yeah.
For sure.
And they timed everything because if you run out of space on the stage or on the set,
Yeah.
and your line hasn't been delivered yet, then like so
Right.
they had to
Everything has to be perfectly
They
timed.
ran it like a play for 6 minutes or for 6 months. They just ran it
Yeah.
over and over and over.
All
Okay,
right.
go ahead.
All right, let's start with the first thing I noticed about this movie. I freaking loved that color grading.
No doubt.
So it
Dude,
was
yeah.
Old
it was a
school.
little bit washed out.
Yeah.
A little
which
bit, yeah.
is my favorite style of shooting. There wasn't like too much color. There wasn't like I was like, ooh, this is add that little bit gray to it. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
all for that. Let's see. Let's talk about the stitching next. So first one I noticed is they're walking through the bunker at the beginning. They meet with Colin Firth.
Dark. It's kind of dark for a second.
There might have been one there when they're going
yeah,
through there.
kind
They
of.
go
He
behind
kind of
there's a
gets on the
dark-
dude's back.
they go
Okay.
behind a beam and stuff.
Could have been one.
Next one I think I noticed was they go through a crowd of people in the same area. It's kind of like where everyone's getting their food at. So pretty much any section where you couldn't see the two main characters on screen, I was assuming that was a stitch because
okay.
they were off screen for a second. So whenever they go through that, the next one I noticed is whenever they go into the German bunker and it gets dark and they turn on their lights.
It's
It
dark
gets
for
dark
half
for
a
like
second.
a half a second. That's one. There's that one where they come out of the big crater and they go behind the dirt, like you said. That was one.
Could have been one.
Yeah.
Did you actually see the stitching?
Well, no. I
You're
mean,
just saying it could have been.
it could have been.
If
I
they
don't
want-
think
if-
you can sit there and like
If
specifically
they
tell
yeah, I
wanted
mean,
it to
because they did so well at
Yeah.
stitching it together, like on post production and stuff.
They're-
Like, they did
yeah.
such a good job with that.
That's why the budget of this movie is $90 million.
Dude, well,
Right.
It's $90 million. They spent zero of it on CGI. Like not zero.
Well, not zero,
obviously.
Very minimal amount.
But
Yeah.
dude, like, gosh, man,
Let me think.
they probably spent a bunch of it on explosives.
What's another one?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, where he gets knocked out. That's one.
Yeah.
And then the water. You think the water?
I think
Where he like jumps into the
felt
bridge
like it could have been a dunk.
yeah.
and it felt like it
But-
to
That
me
one
it
felt
just,
like one.
yeah.
It
The
could have been
scene
one.
where the guys are singing, he sits down the tree. They start
they
start
go
walking
all the
through the
way
crowd,
around.
which that was probably maybe
Dude.
like my favorite like camera shot
That was really cool.
in the
They
in the
came back.
movie where they go through all the guys
They
and
came
come
back.
back. But I think that was a stitch, and then I think that's really the last one that I can remember. So it was like almost like what eight or nine that I could think of.
But
Yeah.
4 or 5 that are like actual.
They're like for sure,
For
like
sure
100%.
ones.
Some of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
are maybes,
I would say 3 or 4 of those are maybes, and I would say 3 or 4 of those are for sure.
but like you guys kind of hit on this earlier,
Yeah.
but the camera does such a good job at like telling the story
Oh,
through it,
dude,
So
yeah.
making
good.
you feel the emotion and all that. Like like when you said when it comes around to the front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, disregard what I said about being predictable and it's a detriment to the story, which I believe it is. But I'm talking more about the way it was shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how it
Well,
goes
and-
to just him walking to the water and Blake's in the back. It's there he's gonna die.
They did such a
Right.
good job of having scenes where they did so many creative things with the camera. You're
Yeah.
almost not even watching what's on screen, you're just watching the camera.
Yeah,
And then there were other scenes where they just like lingered on a shot
right.
of someone's face or of something. And they did such a good job of balancing like when to show off what they were doing and when to like just back off and let the story tell itself. Like they did such a good job of handling those things. Cuz it would have been so easy. Like, oh, I'm going to show you this really cool trick and this really cool thing that we discovered and this really cool like angle or whatever. But they did that in some really really cool ways whenever the story kind of slowed or the characters were just walking and not really doing anything.
Yeah.
But whenever it was time for them to act or time for them to deliver a really cool line or time for them to show some kind of internal conflict or whatever, man, they said forget all that junk. We're literally just gonna
see,
good at that.
One of the things that I have a question about, and this is again me not, is I don't feel like they did a whole lot of like actual like digital zooming or anything like that. I felt like it was a wide angle, and that most of the zooming was like actual physically moving the camera.
That's what it felt like.
And getting close, and like, because I mean, like, there's the scenes like in the truck or in the field where like you can see the dude's like shoulders, and I was like, that like, so I mean, do you feel that way?
It was definitely we'll call this manually moving forward and backwards. Like again, bringing up the crater scene whenever they're going over the water. That's when the characters feel like they're one of the parts where they feel like they're furthest from the camera, because the camera's going over the water and the guys are going out in like a U shape through the crater. And so I mean, you can definitely tell there's some distance building there. But whenever they do get in those tight spots, so like the cameraman gets in the truck with him and sits down, like all those faces are very close and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think there was any like post-production zoom or anything like that.
I mean, I don't even feel like they like zoomed on the camera.
Yeah.
No,
like it was just
no.
one lens, and they just went with it. You know what I mean?
Which was nice because they let the action move.
They did
at
the very beginning, if I remember right. They zoomed out because they were zoomed in on some tree or something.
Well, I mean, I still feel like
at the very beginning,
you could be right.
Whenever it was like because I would feel like it was a really big distance that they came backward. I guess it could have been like a crane or something they pulled back. Or,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's kind of a meta question. I guess we can get that here.
I say, Luke, we kind of interrupted you. Did you have other things?
Man, I could talk forever about this. I feel like, but I'll leave it at that. I give it a section 10 out of 10. Obviously, I absolutely love the cinematic elements,
dude. And I mean, we've mentioned it a couple other times. Let's really give it up for like the score and the sound.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Dude, there was a moment I think it was before
great.
Blake got killed. I was like, man, this is like. The score is like at the perfect volume. It's the perfect just setting the mood right here.
Like
they did such a good job of bringing in the music and then letting it simmer and just be quiet, and then an explosion, and then they did such a good job of just weaving. Like it was literally like Mendez was just.
Well, they'd let you feel like the sounds and all this of war. They let you, they did a good job of like you said, keeping it subtle, letting you feel like you're actually there in the moment.
It's good,
which added to how they shot it. It was cool stuff.
Your
total
overall,
score?
Would you give it a 49, 50?
45.
45. Okay, Luke.
Mine is I wrote it down. 36.
36.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I gave it a 40.
Shoot.
I mean, again, I really enjoyed this movie, but idea and premise and plot just
not great.
Were not there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it made, but again, I don't feel like, it was a conscious decision, like you said, for them to be like, hey, we're going to make it really predictable to where they don't have to, where the audience doesn't have to focus on the story.
Right.
They can, and I really do feel like it was kind of a show-off moment for them to say, hey, we're going to do some really cool stuff, and we want you to notice it. So you don't really have to pay attention to the story.
Yeah.
You feel like what's going on with what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's accurate or not. Of like, I mean, obviously I don't know what they were thinking, but like,
that's
what it felt like to me. So
they do such a good job of, like I said, when the story is at its height or it's a cool moment or an impactful moment, the camera guy is just sitting there doing nothing, like just sitting, right? But whenever the characters are walking or talking or not doing really hardly anything, that's when we're showing off the crane and the weaving and the whatever, like that to me. So they did a great job of because that 30 or 40 minutes in the middle that we talked about earlier on plot that was really slow. Yeah. That's the same scene with the flares, right? And that really cool,
dude, where he's
shadows
running
and the
through
lights and the
like
that's just so cool. And they did so many cool things there.
Yeah.
Every time he's running, like the camera's on like a Jeep or a crane or a truck or something, and he's like running toward the camera. Like it's just they did so many cool things. The camera is down and he jumps off the ledge. Like whenever he jumped off the ledge and they like followed him into the water, like when he jumped in the river. Yeah. That was awesome. Like no stunt double, no cuts, no retakes. Like we're gonna jump off a 20-foot cliff into this water and we're gonna film it with an actor. And we're gonna go. Like That was amazing. Like, they just made so many cool decisions in the middle of the thing. Okay, meta questions. You have any?
I actually don't. Most of my questions I already asked Luke about, like we talked about the cuts and the CGI and things like that. So
my biggest critique of this movie that I've had with people is if you take away the camera stuff, the one-shot stuff, this movie wasn't actually that great. Like, it's still...
I'll agree.
It's still good. Like, the quality of the film itself is still high, top-shelf quality. You still got great acting, still got great writing and directing, still got great stunts, still got great music. You still have the same, like, cinematography-ish. It's just be cuts instead of one long shot. But the story's pretty weak. Some of the character stuff's pretty weak. Kind of whatever. But the movie's not nearly as good, right?
I would agree. Maybe I have to think about it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean... Again, conscious decision for them to be like, "Hey, we're going to show off a little bit." So yeah, I don't feel like, if they would have done it the normal way of shooting and editing and doing all this stuff. Yeah. Obviously, the story, in my opinion, would have lacked a lot, and so this movie would have been like a 30 or less.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, I'll agree with that. It probably wouldn't have been a good.
Well, the way it was shot made sense for the story. Like when they said it, the mission itself or the distance they had to travel would take 6 to 8 hours.
Right? Yeah.
Like how are you gonna make an entire movie about 6 to 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours without following them every step of the way? Pretty much. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just do this whole one shot thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like again Saving Private Ryan where this is multiple days.
Right.
If then that makes sense to do multiple cuts because then that's you're doing a longer span of time to where this was a shorter span of time.
Was that your phone? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been hearing this humming in my headphones this whole time.
Okay, sorry. Keep going, Luke.
No, I think it definitely them doing this story is what made them be able to do the shots they were able to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way it works. After a brief intermission, we are back. It is me and Paul here. AJ had a jet, so we are going to finish up this episode. I took a picture of his meta questions, so we will answer those and wrap this episode up here. He said, "One shot worth the effort." We just did that, right?
Yep.
His next one is this worthy of Best Picture?
Man,
I don't know. Is he saying winning or just being not? I think winning.
I would say probably he means winning.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know about Best Picture. I definitely feel like he should win Best Director. I feel like in my opinion, it's definitely going to win because it's nominated for like sound and score and
all like
things.
The cinematic elements categories.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It should sweep those, in my opinion. I don't know, man. Like,
I'm going to say no.
Somebody asked me this today of what should, in my opinion, win Best Picture, and I think it should be Joker.
Okay.
And I think Todd Phillips should win Best Director, and I think Joaquin should win Best Actor. But that's because I really enjoyed that movie. Right. I'm being a little biased. But if this movie won those things, not Best Actor, but I would not be upset.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, it won Best Picture at the Golden Globes, which almost feels like
director,
which almost feels like a sign for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like it could. So I don't think it should win Best Picture just because I think there are better movies in that category.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I agree that it should be nominated. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it deserves all the nominations that it got. I just don't think it should win for Best Picture. All the other ones, cool.
Oh,
if it wins,
yeah.
like definitely I think it should be in consideration for, top 2 or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
But no, I don't think it. It caught me off guard when it won Best Picture of the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
I thought something else was going to win, something like Parasite or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or something. But
and see that's the thing, and we'll talk about this when we get into like our Oscars episode. I have a feeling Parasite's probably going to get a lot of things.
I think so too, which makes me excited to watch it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird for us watching because it is with subtitles.
Yeah.
But everyone seems to be just like doing fine with it. So I'm like, hey, what if everyone else is loving it? I'm sure whatever it is, wherever this berry is, I'm gonna break through it just fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. His next question is: this a one of our top 25 movies of all time?
I don't know. I don't know about all time. I do kind of. It would have been a top 5 of 2019.
Which that's another one of his questions, I think. Yeah. Is it one of your top 5 of 2019?
It definitely should have. I don't categorize this as a 2019 film personally, but I mean I get the sense of it was select theaters released and the 25th and stuff like that. But for me, I see this as the first first movie of 2020.
Yeah.
So
because that's when it was the wide release was
right. I mean, if we do best of 2020, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna put this on that list. So, but yeah, I mean, if we really broke it down and went technical, I would say best of 2019.
Okay, so I don't think this would be in my top 25 of all time.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, it's up there. If we do probably top 50, I could see it being in there. As for 2019, I think this would probably knock. I think Ad Astra was my number 5. I think it would knock out Ad Astra as for the number 5 spot.
Let's see, what was my number 5? Yeah, I could see it knocking out Irishman of number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it would have been in the top 20.
I mean, I guess I gave it a low score. I mean, according to what we've done in the past and probably how. I mean, but this is me, like I said last week. This is kind of my New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Really grade this stuff for what I think it is.
Right.
Even though I might really enjoy the movie, just like The Prestige.
Yeah, and that was something I said at the beginning. Metacritic is at a 79 for this movie, and my overall score is a 40. So if you do that percentage, it's an 80. So it's right there with Metacritic. So yeah, I feel like it's that whole like Rotten Tomatoes is critic scores and audience scores, and that's kind of how I'm going to start doing mine. Of like my critic score is 80 out of 100. Yeah. But my audience score is probably like, I really enjoy this movie. It's like a 95 or something that, Mm-hmm. So,
no, that makes sense. Let's see. Is this a top 5 war movie? Ooh, that's a kind of a spicy question.
Yeah. I would probably, shooting from the hip, probably say yes. It's my top 5 World War I movie easily.
Yeah.
Because there's not many of those. I don't know, top 5 war movie. I could see it sneaking in there.
I think the exact same. I think it kind of sneaks in there in the 4 or 5 spot. Yeah. Just I don't know. War movies. I'm kind of weird with. Let's
see. I feel like we did that.
It's such a bloated movie section. I feel like, and so it's hard to sit down and really think about them all. But whenever they do, I think
we did.
Yeah, we did. I think this sneaks in there based on the way it was shot, and all that the cinematic elements is what sneaks us in there with me, because story wise and everything, it'd probably be closer, the 15 area in war movies, probably top 10. But no, I truly think this would sneak in just because how much I enjoy watching it. Because there's a lot of war movies where they can, where it just kind of feels generic, and I think this one adds a little spice to it with exactly what I said, the way it was shot. And I think there's good rewatchability with this
for sure. And I mean, I would say you probably more than some other people because of that's kind of what you do. So you're like you appreciate that more than the average person would. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it as well, and I know AJ did, and so it makes it enjoyable. But like I could see from being in the industry, you're like, dude, this is my movie.
Yeah. AJ will have to answer that. I want to hear AJ's thoughts on that question because he's a big war movie guy.
He is,
so
for sure.
I want to hear his thoughts if it did get into his top 5. So we'll have him answer that question next episode.
Yeah.
Let's see. His last one here was the ending satisfying? That's a good question.
That is a good question. So I felt like it was a good bow on top.
Yeah.
Satisfying, maybe. Like, it did make it to where his struggle and his journey made it kind of again the bow on top. It just made it to where it seemed worth it and things like that. Satisfying, I mean, the moment that the brother said, "All right, yeah, go get yourself fixed up or whatever."
Uh-huh.
I was like, "That's not how this movie's gonna end." You know, you gotta
Right.
have. And then when the moment the tree, I was like, "Okay, here's the end of the movie," and like, so
Let's make some character stuff.
yeah, so satisfying, sure. I mean, but it wrapped the movie up well.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think it did. Yeah, it wrapped the movie up very well. I think in terms of like a war movie, I think that's a win of an outcome.
Yeah,
You know, you find the brother. Sure, one brother did die.
Right.
You do get the note to Captain Mackenzie, whatever his name is.
mm-hmm.
I think some people though that might gripe on the ending, what they come away with is wanting, like, you know, he saved everybody. The other brother lived, like all that. You know, the happiest ending you probably could have gotten
Right.
on it. But you know, the reality of it is people in the first wave did probably die.
Oh yeah.
You know, the one brother did die, so there was emotional whatever the end. It wasn't like a happy reunion. There wasn't
And-
this.
And I think it was kind of a little bit of what AJ said too at one point. How it's like it's a war movie. It's like it's not like the dude walks off into the sunset and it's all over.
Yeah, it's the reality of what war is in
Yeah.
those terms. I think it was a good ending.
Yeah,
And
it was
that,
a moment for him to just like rest.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
because you know, the next day he's gonna have to get right back to fighting, right back to this. The war is gonna continue on.
Yeah, it's not like they like sent him home because he
You
did
did
this
great,
great
yeah.
thing.
Go see your family. No, that's not how it is. So I think when you think of it in that way, it was a good ending. So I was satisfied.
I do have a question that I just thought about. At the end, very end, after the scene, it says this was about something or other, like the actual guy.
As I said, like,
And the guy's name was something Mendez.
yeah.
And I honestly wonder if somehow Sam Mendez is like related to the guy.
Ooh, that's a good question because I didn't realize that until now. You're like,
Yeah,
it's
because it's the same spelling and everything like that. So that's maybe something to Google.
I might, yeah, that's something good to look into. And then I know if we want your guys' comments on this stuff, but if you guys know the answer, definitely comment on
Yeah,
on
for sure.
Facebook post, Instagram post, whatever, YouTube video. I do want to bring something up about our Star Wars episodes on YouTube. We do have that one person that keeps commenting saying that
That's
episode 3 is not a
hilarious.
good movie.
That's hilarious.
As much as I disagree with you, I do love those comments.
Oh,
those,
dude, yeah.
those make me crap up. That's my second word blunder of the evening here. Elephant.
Cinematic elephants.
Cinematic elephants. And yeah. But I crack up every time I see that comment on those Star Wars videos. So
Yeah, leave us those comments,
I
y'all.
appreciate those. Shout out to you. But yeah, no, keep those comments coming and stuff. That's all I have on 1917.
Yep, that's it for me, man.
I've talked my heart out over here about it. I feel like gotten all
Oh,
my
yeah,
feelings. I'm not leaving anything over here on the cutting room floor.
There you go.
But no, that's all I have. Next week we're doing Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints, which
Yep.
I haven't seen. Hey, who's recommending? Whose movie was this? Was this
Me.
all three of ours? Was this yours?
1917?
1917?
Yeah, I think it was.
That was a collective agreement
Yeah.
because we all wanted to see that.
Yep.
Okay, so we don't have anybody to blame if it was a bad movie if we hated it.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
but
Next
no.
week is my pick with Boondock Saints.
Awesome. So, I mean, if you're listening to this episode, watch Boondock Saints. I'm definitely watching because I haven't seen it, and I'd look like an idiot if I tried to give an opinion on it.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
Doesn't it have what's his name from Walking Dead?
Daryl from Walking Dead. Norman
Reedus. Yeah, has him in it. Was that pre his accident where his face got messed up?
Well, I
Or
don't
was
know.
that post?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's something I'll have to look into. Again, if you know that, comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right, that's all I got,
You
man.
good? All right. Well, we'll end it there. That was episode 34. We'll see you guys back next week for episode 35. Adios.